So in this thing, my position is men are. So in this thing, my position is men are.
Sorry about that. I'm just trying to using these other streaming programs. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out things. All right. Let's get started. Yeah. So today, Wednesday, I try to be more of a free kind of just a go with the flow kind of stream for Wednesday stream. So I have this video. I have a bunch of videos that I saved on my YouTube channel on my YouTube. So I want to check them out. So let's watch.
More oppressed than women. So then I'm right to say that mansplaining, you women as the oppressor class, you guys are sexist by using the term mansplaining.
Okay, but you're just saying that's not facts. It's
facts.
That's
facts. That's facts. That's not facts. That's facts, right? But what facts? That's facts.
I'm definitely being sexist when I say that.
You are very sexist, by the way.
Good.
And what do you mean exactly by thirsty?
Like, baby, looking for a reason to complain sometimes.
But don't you think that the dominant societal narrative at the moment is that there is a patriarchy and that women get paid less and that women have been historically oppressed and they haven't had the right to vote and all of these sort of things? Don't you think they're kind of thirsty for oppression?
How are we thirsty for something we have already?
But we would argue that men are actually more oppressed in society, and we can demonstrate that.
This doesn't sound very emotionally intelligent.
We could go.
It sounds like we're hurting your feelings.
We could go disadvantage.
I hate it. I honestly hate it when women talk. I really do. I'm sorry. So it doesn't sound very intelligent. What about it doesn't sound intelligent? Oh, it hurts your feelings. Really? So when people are talking with their feelings, they're not intelligent. Who does that more often? Men or women? So when women talk with their feelings, they're not intelligent. Absolutely idiotic.
I want to hear your point of view.
How exactly are my feelings hurt? Please let me know.
You just called us
Wait, hold on. Stop. The question was to her. Go ahead.
Because then it turned into black-splaining, and we've been talking about mansplaining for.
So why don't you get back to your claim that you just made? You said that you feel as though I'm not very emotionally. I'm not very emotionally intelligent. Okay. And back to the.
Wait, but what was your answer? You were speaking. You were telling us something.
I was, but then I was rudely interrupted
And I wanted to hear what you were saying.
by this comment over
By
here.
this woman matter. Please.
I was woman niggled.
You're a woman nigga. Please explain what you were saying.
Anyway, so where were we?
I don't know what we were talking about at this point.
So I was saying that I think that we can actually back up, if we wanted to have the conversation, that there are actually more factors of oppression for men in society than women. However, the dominant societal narrative
Women can never change the factor that men are the body bags. Men are the expendables of any and all nations. Men. You can put men, right, as the body bags or the expendables of a nation. You don't do that with women, right? Men are the front lines in everything. You use men as, the shield to your country, to your nation, to your tribe, to whatever.
is of female oppression. So if that's the case, doesn't it seem like women are the ones who are trying to act like victims?
We can't act like something we've been.
How have you
act like
how have you been a victim?
I'm not your victim, but things that you just said.
So you're not a victim?
I'm not a victim of
Speak
what?
to your microphone.
I'm not a victim of what?
So you don't think
Being a
you're a
black
victim?
woman.
No.
I think the
So
fact
you guys
that
disagree. You think you are a victim.
What are we a victim
I think
of?
women are in general are more oppressed than men. That's the point.
In what sense?
I think the fact that we can't go out for a walk at night.
Neither could men. This is the thing where I find women honest. I'm sorry. That sounds more stupid. Yo, Steve, what's up, my brother? What is up? I find this is why women can be more idiotic in a sense. Okay. Neither could men walk around late at night. Literally, I walked around late at night and been mugged. There are men that walked around late at night, been killed and been beaten up. Men experience predominantly more violence than women do. Statistically, men experience more violence than women do.
What woman is gonna come and jump on you, Brian?
No, man.
While you're walking down the
Who
street.
do you think-
Y'all, though.
who do you think gets
That's
murdered?
y'all. We're not attacking you guys like that on the
But who
street.
do you think gets murdered more, men or women?
By who though?
But it doesn't matter though. We're just talking about the rates of who gets killed more.
I mean, I would. Never mind.
Yeah, men are by
men.
far and away the victims
Wait,
of violence.
I have a question for you. So, when it comes to, do you think that if you said something about the incidence of violence or murder when it comes to Black people, if I were to just dismiss this claim because I was like, well, who's doing that? If I just were to try to dismiss your claim, do you think that's fair, or should we actually focus these are actual victims? Let's actually have a conversation about that.
Well, just because someone is getting murdered and killed, that doesn't mean that they're more oppressed than a different group. That's what I'm saying. Just because men have.
Just because people are getting murdered and killed doesn't mean they're more oppressed. Literally, you started out by saying, women can't walk out at night. Which one is it? Which one is it? I love the hypocrisy of women. I love the hypocrisy and delusions of women. I really do. It is absolutely hilarious. I find it hilarious.
Hardships, they have to go to war and stuff like that. That doesn't make them more oppressed. That's all I was saying.
Wait, so being forced to die in a war that you don't want to fight, that's not oppression?
I mean, not being able to work.
Right. Since when are you guys forced?
It's called conscription.
Military conscription?
The draft.
Well, not when they're included.
Yeah,
When was the last
the
one?
Vietnam War.
Oh, yeah, I'll answer it. So it was in Vietnam. It was in
Okay,
Vietnam.
where are we at?
Yeah, well, let me ask you a question. No.
Like,
Hold on,
what?
okay? Yeah, that's totally fine. So let me ask you a question. So
you're oppressed in
wait,
America.
hold on. Wait. Hold on. I want everybody to be quiet while me and her have this exchange. Okay, so you're saying, you asked when was the last draft, right?
Okay, I meant here, not in a
No, that's
different
fine.
country.
No. But when was the last draft? So, and I said Vietnam, which was late 1960s to the 70s, right? And that was, you think that's a long time ago? Doesn't really
Were
matter.
you alive?
Hold on. Doesn't, and your position is, I just want to understand your position. It doesn't matter, or it's not a big deal.
Well, no, you brought up a draft, but I'm like,
When's the last? Sure.
yeah,
And so
like,
I'll make a quick point. I'll make a quick point about the Vietnam War, and then I'll make my final point. So,
when were you slaves? I hate this. I hate this insanity. This hypocrisy. This delusion. Right. So certain things are okay to nitpick about the past. Other things are not. When it deals with the struggles of men, it's not okay to focus on the past. When it's okay to deal with the struggle of women, of, let's say, minorities, of, let's say, people of certain sexualities, it's okay to focus on the past. It is the insanity. It honestly, it's the insanities, right?
first off, when it comes to the Vietnam War, granted, yes, it was a long time ago. There are men who would still be alive today had they not been drafted.
sure?
Yeah, the math checks out. Let me have the exchange. Yes, I'm very sure. You do realize that there are Vietnam veterans who are still alive today? Are you sure?
Exactly.
Do you know when Vietnam was?
No.
Okay, so you're not sure.
You just said, like,
So anyways, let me...
Then why are you so fucking stupid? And why are you talking? I swear to God. This is the thing where, you know what? This is the thing with, like, these kind of podcasts have a problem, have a criticism about, oh, why do you have all these, like, uneducated women on? Because these are the women that are out there. You make it seem like every single woman is like a PhD. A lot of these women have college degrees. Have college degrees. And if this is how you are with a college degree, then it's college showing you that it's useless. It shows you how useless a college degree is.
Have the back and forth with her. So, and then there are men who did go to Vietnam, who did come back, who were drafted, who are maimed, who are homeless because of they have mental illness. Many of them are drug addicted because they got addicted to drugs, coping with the either physical pain or mental pain from the Vietnam War. So you have that. Now, you said, well, it was a long time ago, so it doesn't matter. Slavery was a long time ago. Hold on. Slavery happened even further back than the Vietnam War. Is it your position that because of how far back slavery occurred, that it doesn't matter and doesn't have an impact on current black people?
So I didn't say it doesn't matter.
Systemic racism.
Last draft.
It's written in the Constitution.
Because you said,
Hold on.
because you're bringing up people dying in war because they were drafted because they had to go. We're talking about a war that they were drafted for years ago. Like, what are we talking about?
But we were presenting to you one of the metrics by which men face unfavorable outcomes or oppression in life, and you said your argument was, well, it happened so long ago, so you're trying to dismiss it. There's currently a selective service.
How so? XY. How so? Because the argument he just presented sound pretty reasonable. The argument he presented sound pretty reasonable. I mean, it doesn't sound dumb to me. Now, please, I'm definitely down to hear an explanation why he's dumb, because what he just said doesn't really sound all that dumb, in my opinion.
For men, yes, and we're closer to World War III than at any point in the past since the Cold War.
Are you trying to say that that's oppressing men?
Yes. Hold on. Wait, let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Stop. Let me ask you a question. When it comes to the oppression of men, if the government said, "Hey, we need to have more children," and the government forced you to have children, and you didn't want to, do you think that that's evidence of government oppression?
They're gonna force us to have sex.
To have children.
They're going to force you to have children. Whichever way you want to do it, you can do it by sex, or you can
have to get pregnant.
We're overpopulated.
Well, that's not a rebuttal to my argument. Let her answer. Would it be oppression?
Yes.
And so the government forcing men to die is also,
Men are oppressing men.
That's not a rebuttal.
First of all, there's women in the government too. And again, it's like, we're not telling you who's oppressed. The problem is not who's oppressing us, right? The problem is not who's oppressing you. Okay. The thing is, the argument is that you are being oppressed. What's his point in mentioning all that? Is he comparing struggles? He is, right? Because Brian's argument, right, is saying that men, with these examples, are potentially more oppressed than women. Right? Men in general are more oppressed than women, right? That's his argument.
That's not a rebuttal. What if it has nothing to do with the fact that they're men, and it has more to do with that
they're strong.
that they just happen to be the men in power? And also, if Kamala Harris had won, would you say that then?
Yes, I think that
How?
if you
She's a woman.
if you take it back,
Toast the brain.
oh, okay, okay.
No, just like you guys, can you at least advance?
You have a point, but that doesn't mean that we have to agree with it, Brian. I'm so sorry.
Okay, it's fine that you don't agree with it. Give a rebuttal, right? Don't just say something like randomly stupid just for the hell of it. That is the problem. You just say randomly stupid things just for the hell of it, which does not help nothing.
I'm sorry, but if I say 2 + 2 = 4, you do kind of.
That's not the same thing.
Hold on.
That's built into.
I walked you through the
Who
logic.
decided that men should be oppressed?
Wait, hold on. Just
Who decided? Men.
Just
Didn't
say
they? When they all gathered together.
It's 51% of women who have the vote.
When they all no. When they
Sorry,
all
sweetheart,
gathered together.
majority women
When it go
voters.
into effect though, like
When they all gathered together and wrote the Constitution,
voters
was there a woman there? Was there a woman there saying, "Oh well, I would love to just go and
Hold on a
do
second.
more"?
No, and thank God there was not. Because if there were women there, then it would have been.
No, because there's.
Thank God those great men had no women
Well,
present.
I know plenty of the women
During
who went into the
writing
army
of the Constitution.
on their own terms. They was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go into the army. I'm gonna fight for my country." But okay, oh no, the men didn't have the option at the choice or the choice in the beginning. But that's because of the men. The men were in power. Women couldn't vote. Black people couldn't vote.
Stop yelling, stop yelling. You're doing this thing where you just keep yelling over everybody and it's really annoying.
Those
Make
are
your point
politics.
concisely. Anyways, so you're saying men do it. Which men?
The ones that are dead now.
So you're saying a tiny little strata of men who are in powerful positions, of which there are also females, by the way. Unfortunately,
Now?
there are females in those positions of power.
But now,
Oh,
Okay,
let
but
me-
when
let me
this-
jump in.
wait,
but now you're talking about now that you're bringing up something from the past.
Oh, okay, I love this. So if you believe that men were oppressed, it's due to their own stupidity. So do you also believe that if women are oppressed, it's due to their own stupidity? Your logic has to be consistent, right? Your logic has to be consistent. If you want to make a logical statement, it has to be consistent. So if you believe that men are oppressed, right, and it's due to their stupidity, then you believe black people are oppressed because it's due to their stupidity. You believe women are oppressed because it's due to their stupidity, right? That's consistent. And if you believe that, okay, then I'll give you that. That's what you believe.
You gotta fucking stop. You guys also, in addition to not interrupting, I'm asking you just so I can move conversation forward, just defer to me. If I start talking, you guys just be quiet. So, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that because somebody who's, maybe you don't view them as victims, but let's just say, like, if somebody's victimized and the person who caught.
No, because women never had power. Here's the thing, right? Here's the weakness of your argument. Do you believe all men had power? Right? Do you believe all men had power? Please tell me. Because in your argument, right? If you believe that men were not oppressed, that include black men, Asian men, that include poor men, right? That includes a multitude of men. So how's your argument making sense? How does your argument make any sense? Okay? Again, it's a small amount of men had power. Most men, majority of men, if not 90% of men, never had power. So how does your argument make any sense?
Because the victimization shares a gender with them, then therefore they're not victimized. Is that your position?
No,
Oh,
but I'm just
so what does
saying.
it matter?
But you're saying that it wasn't your choice because it was so long ago,
There
right?
to write the Constitution, but then also complaining that you were drafted.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the
What
complaints
does that
now.
have anything to do with this? Obviously,
Do you want to know why that makes complete sense? Because if men are to make the rules in a patriarchal setting, and if men do have the duty to do the law, then they've also got the duty to do what? Go and die in war. So that makes complete sense. If you have the responsibility of making the rules, then you have the responsibility to go and fight the wars.
But here's the thing, right? Okay, I'm speaking specific on gender. Men had power, women never. Okay. Do you believe black people had power? Black men. Do you believe black men had power? Please tell me. Because if you're speaking gender, did you believe All right. Did you believe during slavery black men had power? Do you believe during, how about any part of the last, let's say, 300, 400 years of America, did you believe black men had power? Did you believe Asian Asian men had power? Because you said men, right? Gender specific. Men had power, women never. Really? Women never? Because there's been queens. There's been queens throughout history, right? There's been no women of nobility throughout history. So literally you said never. Women never had power. There's been plenty of cases where women have had power. You see how your logic is so like preschool, right? Because literally I'm able to dissect and destroy your logic right now. And I love it. Thank you. Thank you, XY Ray, right? Thank you. Thank you for, having a back and forth, because, it's nice to have someone to have a back and forth with. But again, I can prove you wrong. There's been queens throughout history. There's been women of nobility throughout history. So technically, they had power. And can you say that black men have had power throughout our American history? Because there were men?
However, if there are women, dilute.
No. See now you're being disingenuous. No, you can't do that. A few queens versus history of men in control. But here's the thing. That's not what you said, right? You literally said men have power, women never. I mean, again, you didn't talk about the exceptions, did you? Right? You didn't talk about the exceptions. You can't do that. So I showed you, right? Again, you wrote it, not me. I didn't put words in your mouth. I'm speaking about specific on gender. Men had power, women never. Right? And now you are changing it up. No, you can't do that. A few queens. I mean, that counteracts what you said. Never. I'm sorry. It's your logic that is faulty. So really, few queens literally disprove what you said. Women never. Well, that's women in a few times, right? Few cases that women have had power. And women have had power in nobility before. I'm not saying that women had more power than men. That's not what I'm saying. But again, you can't miss. See, you use the exception, right? The few men that have had power, you misconstrue it with majority of men. Majority of men never had power, right? Majority of men never had power, even as a gender. Okay. Now, men may be more physically strong, but still, it doesn't mean that men had more power than women, okay? Even men throughout history have been oppressed. The slaves were usually men, right? The body bags that people push into war are usually men, predominantly men. So to say that men aren't oppressed because they were stupid is idiotic in itself. I was speaking of America. Then now you're speaking of America. Okay. I was speaking of America. Then you mentioned Queens, which caused me to give you a worldly answer. Fine. Okay. You're speaking of America. Cool. Let's take that out. Were black men ever in power? Were any men of minority? Or are you just not what? Now you're just speaking of white men? Are you just speaking of white men? Because there are plenty of white men that have never experienced power. Majority of white men have not experienced power. You cannot put the few presidents we've had, the few politicians we had, the few CEOs we've had, the few wealthy people we had, and use those men to say that men in general had power. Because no, that amount of men that I just named, right? Presidents, politicians, wealthy men, CEOs, right? Those few men make up maybe 5% of any amount of men. Maybe. Okay? Imagine that. Okay? So you cannot say that. Who vote? Women have predominant more. Women, right, make up 51% of the voting block in the last couple decades. Who voted for them? Men. Okay. Again, we have a democratic system, right? We have a democratic system. Who else would you vote for? Your logic does not make sense. Who voted for them? Again, we have a democratic system. Who else would you vote for? Who else would you vote for? I don't get that answer. Who else would you vote for? I mean, who voted for them? Men. But that doesn't make sense. Yeah, no dumb men voted for them. So what? Okay, please tell me, how am I not being inconsistent? Okay, because if you're saying voting power, right? Voting power means power, right? If you say voting power means power, right? Right now, women have 51% of the voting power. Women. So wouldn't your logic mean right now? You keep going from present tense to past. No, because here's the thing. No, I'm talking history. I'm talking America as a whole, right? So what are you? So do you want to talk about today? Because the conversation is about for today, right? The conversation, in my opinion, this conversation that Brian is having is about today, or in recent years, right?
Hi, buddy.
What's up? You just woke up?
Yeah, I've been sleeping literally all day. 9 p.m. Finally get up, ready to get my day going.
Oh
Nah, I'm
man,
just
you are.
joking. I'm Josh, and how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right. No, I was just doing shit. I had just stream on in the background. I was just listening. I was listening to what you had to say. Um, I'm serious. I don't know. I'm just saying. Um, yes. What you doing
Well,
tonight? What's the plan for this? Who?
I'm just watching a video and having a back and forth with a chatter.
Yeah, who's the person you're talking to? I don't even see in the
Click the
chat.
link. Yes. Right. X-ray. Click the link.
Yo,
Let's
X-ray,
have a
X-ray, get in here, please.
yes. Let's have
X-ray, that
a
make me
back and
very
forth.
happy. Um, I think I could probably clear up a couple things though
Go for it.
for her. You don't know why she mentioned the like who voted for them thing? You said that it doesn't matter. Like why?
No. Go ahead. I mean, what? Because I could dismantle that argument as well.
You can?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Oh, would you? So
I
would you
don't
want to
think
go,
she's
or you want
saying
me
that
to?
I'm saying this is yeah, it's okay. I don't think that it necessarily makes us like a bad country, but
No,
yeah,
I don't know.
we
I
made
don't know
us
what
that
you.
we created a system where only men can vote and only men can hold positions of power. Therefore, men will be in power, and
Well,
men voted for said men to keep them down. That's just how it is. That's how it works. It's okay to admit that. You can admit that.
Well, here's the thing where it's kind of disingenuous, right? In the sense that you said we created a system where only men can vote, which honestly most men couldn't vote until
No, no, no. I know, but no
uh,
women could.
no. Yes, let me. Yeah, I mean,
No,
so
most men and no women. Right. So we have to. Men are still up on the pedestal.
yeah, but here's the thing where again,
It's
it's
okay
kind of
to admit that.
disingenuous in the way that okay, you said we create a system that most men can vote while to put in to put in men in power, but again, what other system was there?
Any other system. Any
Name
other
a system
system.
that men weren't in power.
What? What do you
Name a
mean?
system that men wouldn't be in power.
No, I'm saying that they're like when our wonderful forefathers of this country, they didn't have like a gun to their head saying, "Meh, only make it
But
so
here's the thing
landowning
where
men can
you got to
vote."
think,
They
right?
chose that. They chose that.
Yeah, but what would they have a choice with? Dictatorship, kings, I don't know.
No, a
I mean, I don't
choice.
think communism wasn't around. I mean, like again, what other system would there be?
aside from landowning men being able to vote, they could have said, "Hmm, how about anyone could vote?" They could have done that.
Why would they
That's
say
what she's
anyone?
saying.
Because here's the thing where
Why
I
would
can see
they?
the because
That's what we
here's the
do
thing where I can
now.
see the logic in this, right? So land owning men. Do you know why land owning men can vote?
Do you know why we still have an electoral college? Is because they thought we were stupid. They didn't
Well,
want. They
I
didn't
mean,
want
again, I'm
peasants
not.
deciding
There
who
are
would.
plenty of flaws, right? But there is logic in there where land owning men had a stake in society. They had a stake. They had a reasoning where they had a visible stake in society. So there's the
But
logic in why that is there.
no, the logic literally does. I mean, this is. It's just how it is. Once again, I'm not even saying this is a negative or a positive.
Well,
I'm just
no,
saying.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, like again,
It
we
literally
can't.
it boiled down to they thought that peasants were gonna vote for stupid things, so they created an electoral college first of all, and they made it so okay, until we get our shit together, only people in this bracket of society are gonna be able to vote. You know, Senate elections weren't even done by the people until like the 1920s. Like our country has been based on a rich white men get to do things system until like less than 100 years ago. Like it's okay to admit that. It's fine to
Well,
admit that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's how the
well,
world
no,
was.
but here's the
But
thing where I mean, it's not about admitting anything. It's about like here's my thing where this is something that sometimes I don't understand. There's no even point in admitting anything because it was one our country was founded by white men. Our country was sustained by rich white men, or they were the ones in power. So it is what it is. I don't really. I need to see a negative nor positive of it. It's just the history,
I
right? But
see
I think a lot of
that.
people want to view it as a negative.
Yeah, I think you're looking at it from a scope, and I will say this. I think that sometimes people of your worldview that it doesn't matter look at it from a scope of like, meh, it is what it is. Nothing could have been done. Things could have been done. I think that's all we're
Well,
trying to say. Things
no,
very so like okay, we the people find these things to be self-evident. We didn't find them self-evident, right?
here's
Like
the thing where what
we
could have been
decided
done.
that all man was created equal, and then we put asterisks on it for the short term. You know, our country's only been around for less than 250 years. We're still in the short term. When Thomas Jefferson said that he wasn't going to go after
No, no,
slavery,
but no, no,
he
but you
thought that
got
that was only going to last 20 years, and it ended up lasting almost 100, and it led to a like civil war, right? Like
yes,
I'm
but
saying that
yes,
we're
no
still
one
in
can
the
predict the future.
experiment stage of our. But I'm saying like we're still in the experiment stage, so there's very much things that we can do about it. So I find it odd that so easily you're so easy to just push back on it.
No, but here's Alan, right? This is the thing where, and it shows. This is the thing where, it's great, right? You are the younger generation. You are younger, so
Yeah,
it is within your
young
power.
fella.
But here's my thing where, um, I was your age, right? We like the people you talk to, like this, like our last time, right? And XY. I mean, like you are
Please
welcome
get
to
up
join the
here.
panel.
XY, please, please, please get
I'm
up here.
always down for more people to have a conversation.
Please get
But
up here. I'd love to talk to you. I need to know what you're actually talking about because, yeah, you're right. I mean, hyperbole with Mr. Devil's Advocate doesn't work very well.
I mean, it's, but here's the thing where, like I said, that I mean, okay, I wouldn't disagree that maybe, yeah, as history, we are probably in still the baby phase. I probably don't disagree. Right?
Yeah,
There are older nations. How Alan's 21, right?
that's all right.
Yeah, he's 21. So yes, we are in a young phase in our nation. But here's the thing where uh, it's because this is the thing. I look at this, right. I said this last time. Could things change? Of course. I mean, I'm always down for it. If it happens, it happens. But I think sometimes we think that it's easy to change things. Just saying it, I, I honestly believe that, because here's my thing, right? How would I say this? I said this when I was like when I told you the story where I was on Bernie's side, right? Where I
Mhm,
wanted drastic change. Right? I wanted things
mhm.
to change because I wanted to vote for Bernie, but it it just showed me that, honestly, things will either be a slow, very slow change, or a very minuscule change over time, right? And I've seen that. I don't necessarily believe we will have drastic changes.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I know
So
that.
that's why I probably, and most people have a, it is what it is kind of mindset, because maybe I won't see much
Yeah,
of a
but
change during my lifetime.
let me frame it like this, though. So, with an is what it is mindset, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, like, what am I going to do? Force everyone to care about political issues? Who gives a shit? Usually the people, including yourself in this circumstance, the is what it is crowd, aren't actively being affected by what it is, right? I mean, you're not. I mean, today, let's say women still couldn't vote, 19th Amendment never happened. You could 100% just say, yeah, it is what it is, because you're not getting affected,
But here's the thing:
right?
most people
So
don't get
it's very
affected.
easy for
Like,
you.
no,
It's very easy for you to say it is what it is when you're not the one like actively being pushed around by the system that other people want to change. So like, what's wrong with a little change if you're not going to be affected either way?
but
That's what the 19th.
I'm
That's
not.
why we look
This
back at
is,
the 19th Amendment as some like we look back at it like it's the stupidest fucking thing in the world for a reason. All it took was a couple of votes in Congress, and then they were like, yeah, no, you're right. Instant change did not affect anyone negatively. All it did was make America a little bit closer to its original. There's nothing wrong with
but,
that.
but okay, here's the
Like,
thing where it also.
we look back at it like it's stupid. We look back, and no offense, we look back at the is what it is crowd as dumb people. Like, we never have looked back at the is what it is crowd as on the right side of history in any circumstance ever. So I think it's a dangerous mindset to have, especially when we have every piece of information ever in our pockets with the internet now. I think still being in it is what it is and not even looking for some change, drastic or slow, I think is just dishonest to America's like founding principle. You know what I'm saying?
So here's my thing, right? You look
Yeah.
at throughout history certain gaps in history. Okay, the is what it is crowd. A lot of things don't affect. A lot of things. Nothing is happening. Right. So let's say right now. Right. So was there the crowd that you know was like that during, let's say, when women couldn't vote? But probably. But you got to also think that just like what you said, right? Whose vote? Men were voting. So it's men that made the determining factor. Men voted for it.
Men
Right?
voted for the
Not
19th
women.
Amendment to be passed? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So all these little things that you said, men made the changes to it. Not
Right, because yeah, but like men is uh, I don't even think this is like a gender debate at this point.
women. No,
It's
no.
just
Well, I mean,
people in
first of all,
power voted for a thing.
see. It
It has
started
nothing to
out
do
as a
with
gender debate,
with
right? It started out with me and
yeah,
XY as a gender debate,
yeah, I know,
right?
but you can't say
So
that. Okay, like that's me saying it's like me patting myself on the back. It's like me being a CEO and then
no.
being like me being a racist CEO and then giving a black person my job is not like I shouldn't be patting myself on the back. I did it in the first place. I created the system in which it's like it's a PR campaign, DA.
But here's see that's kind of the fallacy in your argument, right? Even if let's
If I
say
do a bad thing and then 5 years later I revert the bad thing, you can't. I'm not going to praise myself to the fullest extent, and you shouldn't either.
well, here's my thing, right? Why wouldn't you? You couldn't. You didn't have to do it then. Let's say if you like you said you were a racist CEO.
Uh-huh.
5 years later, you step down and let's say a black man. Well, 5 years later, you might as well not do it.
Right, but that's like immoral and
That's
odd
immoral, right? It's
to
only your
let
what you think is
women
immoral.
vote.
No, but I'm saying, see, this is the thing where no, you
So when the
can't. You
times
can't.
change, DA, it's not arbitrary. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not even trying to argue with you. I'm saying that, like, do you genuinely believe in your heart of hearts that women should not be able to vote? That it was
No,
like a
I never
okay,
disagree
so
with that.
then okay, then the
But
times
what? No, see,
changed.
okay,
People
okay.
realized that it was kind of ludicrous that we weren't allowing half of our population to have any say in politics, so they changed it. I
But
don't think
okay,
that necessarily erases the mistakes of the people 100 years before that created the system and which stopped that
no
from
one.
happening
See, here's the
beforehand.
thing where no one says that we erase any mistakes, but we cannot. This is a thing where again, maybe
You can
we go
admit
back
them.
to what I'm talking about with XY, right? We cannot, disregard certain things, right? So if you said, okay, men were, let's say, terrible, if men do good things, you can't say now what men are not devil. Let me ask you this: what exactly is your point message? What's the outcome of your desire? My outcome of my desire, right? So my outcome of my desire, right?
Mhm.
And just like the video I'm reacting to, stop putting down men. That is the outcome of my desire, right? So my basis of this channel, of what I say, is that I'm tired, right? That the left, of women, of whatever, constantly need to put down men. That's my desire. It's always been my desire. Okay. Just like, again,
I agree with that.
when I started out with this reacting, when I with the channels, I'm tired of it's always men to be blamed, right? Right? It's like, if it's something bad, it's men blame. But if it's something good, don't pat yourself in the back, right? That's the thing. That's how I go about it.
That's fair. Yeah,
So
I
that's
agree.
my desire, my point.
I do agree, but what if it's like an actual male issue? It's okay to admit that we have those.
Like what?
Do you want me to bring up the obvious one?
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna say it. It just makes me feel gross even having to bring this up. Like, okay, let's do a simpler one. I don't know. We already went over this. You don't believe that statistic. For the record, men really are the domestic abusers. It's like 97% of cases, dude. It's bad. I didn't even know that until you made me look it up the other day. Domestic abuse is like it's literally almost 100% perpetuated by
Alan,
dudes.
let me
That
come on.
sucks.
Alan, let me kind of trying to enlighten you, or let's say, let me give you a different point of view. Okay.
I would love to, because
listen to this. Listen to this, right? So let's do this. Let's do this game, because you have a kind of a women's mindset, and I would love to
what does that
see if I could
mean?
change your mind in it. Right?
What is women's mind? No. What that sounded like an insult. What is women's mindset mean?
It kind of is, because what you just did, right? So
why
would I say that?
What does it mean? What does that mean?
Then let me explain. Right?
All right.
So you bring up domestic violence, right? So
it's just an arbitrary example.
Yes, but I want to use it as a jump off point.
Sure.
So
I like it.
A lot of times women use this kind of mindset, right? Men what is it? Men commit most of the violence, right? But that's not the same kind of mindset as, yes, men commit most of the violent crime. That is not the same as most men commit violent crime.
I didn't say that. It's insane to say it. Yeah, anyone who's ever said most men commit violent crime is a fucking idiot. They should be disregarded immediately. That's not an actual argument. That's a crazy.
I agree. But that's
not what I said.
No. Listen. That's the subterfuge, right? Right. So you bring up, like again, a lot of people. I'm not saying you particular. I'm just, when I say a female mindset, is that's what they like to use to subterfuge. When you're talking about men and women dynamics, right? Because yes, men, probably do abuse towards women. Of course, I never disregard that. But that does not equate to, let's say, men are bad. That doesn't equate to that, right? Because again, why I use that is because, yes, men commit most of the violence, doesn't mean most of the men commit violence. So again, it's not most men. Even if you say men commit most of the domestic abuse, okay, great. That doesn't mean
that's not a point against men.
That's not.
My point that I was getting
that's not
to,
even a lot of men to do that. That's my opinion.
It's not, but it is. Okay, so the way that I was saying, the way that I was framing, yeah, you're right. Anyone who, honestly, if you can find me 5 examples, seriously, I would pay you all the money in my bank account if you can find 5 examples of women saying most men commit violent crimes.
Oh, okay. I don't need your money, right?
You can find me examples of a person saying those words out exactly as you did. I've never heard anyone who's ever said that is a fucking insane person.
Well, I mean,
we don't claim those because they're not real people with real arguments. They're just culture war vultures. They suck just as much as anyone else. I don't understand your point about that. I don't know why I'm a woman brain.
Because again, so remember okay. Again, like XY said, did you just insult the guy just because he disagreed with you? No, I didn't insult him because he disagreed with me.
No, we're best friends. Me and DA, we're such good buddies. I have never taken insult from him.
Yeah. I'm not trying to insult him. I'm trying to, I guess,
That's
make
a bit
a
of an
point
insult.
where,
You can
yeah,
admit, it's a bit of one. It's okay. I can take it. I'm just curious where it came from.
no, it's not an insult to be an insult. It's a thing where I'm trying to point out that a lot of women tend to do this, right? That's why I said it's kind of
A
female-ish,
lot
where
of, but
if you are
that's not an
talking about
argument.
men and women dynamic,
That's not
a
an
lot of women
argument.
would
A lot of women do use what? Women brain? The women
no,
brain is completely
they
arbitrary.
would
You can
use,
think
right?
about anything.
They would use the fact that men are violent towards women, right? To
They are. It's
get an,
okay to admit that.
but
I'm not
most men.
violent.
This
You're
is the
not
thing.
violent. That's fine. But
But here's the thing: where I can say the same thing. Women are violent to men. That's not an argument to worth being. I don't. That's not an argument I use
I
to do
agree.
anything with.
But
But I don't use
there
that
is
argument for
so
nothing
much
because
more
that doesn't
factual.
add to any argument. That doesn't
See,
add
hey,
to an argument to me.
okay, but an argument, yeah, I think that you categorize all anti men activity as anti man gender. I think that's
What,
where our disconnect is. When a woman brings up statistics such as that to a person like you who's trying to tell them that most women are like this, whatever, and they bring up a statistic like that, you can't disregard it instantly. It's a
yeah,
true thing.
but again, see, I'm not disregarding statistics. It is statistics.
So in
What
that
I'm
case, would you
disregarding is
say
the
that
use of
men
it,
or
right?
women are better in that category?
What do you mean better in that category? What do you mean?
Okay, in the category of domestic abuse, do you think that men are maybe just a little bit kind of the bad guys most of the time?
Okay, I can look it up. I mean, most
It's okay
domestic
to admit
are
that.
committed by with each other. I think
You
most people.
said
I
that
think
last
toxic
time
people
too. I don't
are
know
with
what that
toxic
means.
people.
Domestic
I,
abuse committed by each other. So I looked it up.
it's
When it
okay.
comes
So
to
okay,
violent
then
domestic
let me
abuse
explain.
arrests,
If
it's
you say you don't
97%
understand,
men.
let me explain. All right, if you
Yeah.
understand it, let me explain. So
Okay.
I can be verbally abusive to you, right? Put you down, verbally abuse. People recognize verbal abuse as abuse. All right.
Yeah.
So I can abuse you verbally, right?
You
Harshly.
could.
And then it would the other person, the partner, probably a man, will, result or be angered and commit physical abuse. Right? So
Whoa.
that's usually abuse towards each other.
Whoa. See. Whoa. All right. I understand what you're saying. I do now understand your point. That's a fair point. Do you do you think that most men abusing women? Do you think that the women are the catalyst? Do you genuinely believe that if you beat your wife, it's
Let me say
probably
this.
because your
Do
wife
I
talked back?
let me see the counter. Do I believe that most men that do
Yes,
abuse their
that
partner,
do. We're not talking about men anymore. We're
yes,
talking about criminal men.
I'm trying to be more specific with my
I know.
wording.
I'm just let's just call them criminals.
Okay.
We'll disregard the
Yeah,
man aspect.
yeah.
Domestic
So
abusers.
do I believe most men that do abuse their partner, do they just abuse them out of nowhere? No, not my opinion. I mean, not my belief. I believe that
Whoa.
most abuse situation is most people abusing each other, and
Do you think that
the
verbal
only
abuse
the
and
result
do you think
the
that verbal
results of
abuse
said
from a
abuse.
woman
Well,
and
just
a
let me finish.
man?
Just let me
Okay,
finish.
okay,
Right?
okay,
I
okay.
believe that most abuse situation is both parties are abusing each other, and the result is just that men are physically, right, abusive. So you will see the results of men's abuse more or visibly than you will see women's abuse. But again, I believe most abuse situations is they're both being toxic and abusive to each other. You're just seeing the results of how men go about it.
All right. You believe that? Why do you believe that?
Because
Or where did that opinion come from?
where does that
You
opinion
just
come from? Because
you just
most
thunk it up one
arguments,
day,
right?
or
Most arguments are, back and forth to each other, right? I think
okay?
most arguments are back and forth, and I don't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, or there's one-sided arguments. But
You
most
think that
arguments, in my opinions, are back and forth with each other, right? Most arguments, well, it will escalate. Arguments, a lot of times, will escalate. So by logical assumption, uh, you know, as the arguments can escalate towards abuse and violence. So that's how I my path leads to that.
a lot
Because
of
I
the
mean, unless
attention.
you believe that
I don't
a lot of
believe
these
anything, BA. I
abusive
looked these
men
things up.
just
That's
abuse
the
women
issue.
out of nowhere.
Yes, I think that the facts, undeniably, unfortunately,
What facts do you believe? What facts do you show that men just abuse women out of nowhere?
it depends on what your definition of out of nowhere is,
Well, just
but
like he walks in the door and just start doing it. What I mean, like
no, it usually is years, months to years of breaking down of a relationship, turning into
but
bitterness,
how?
turning into anger, turning into the more powerful person, usually with more power in the wallet, in the home life, and physically, turning more to more violence, more anger, and because men typically win fights against women, they are more prone to use violence, physical violence. That's just how it is. They
Yes,
don't do
yes.
it out of nowhere. I think it's insane to say they do it out of nowhere, but do you genuinely believe that most wife beaters are doing it because their wife yelled at them?
No, no, no. This is the thing where again, I don't.
We're
I
talking
think it's
about
a bit
criminals here,
different. Where
DA.
let's
There's
say
no reason to defend these people anyway. You're doing this on your own
I'm not.
behalf.
No,
I
no.
don't know
You
why
see,
you're
I'm
doing
not.
this.
This is the thing where I'm not defending people. I'm like trying to more set a better stage where we can't. Again,
Yeah, a stage where you
I believe
somehow find
white
a way
leaders
to
are.
blame the woman for
No, no,
getting
no.
beaten.
This is see. This is the thing where you know. Okay,
You just said that.
I
You just said that both parties are equally involved. There's no evidence to point anyone in that
there's
direction. You came up with that on your own based on
no,
logical
but
assumptions.
you have what's evidence do you show you that men just arbitrary, do that to women
What evidence do what do you mean
out of nowhere? You
arbitrarily?
just said okay. You said it's one sided, right? What argument is this? Men
Yeah,
walk
I
through the
think
door
that
and just
no, no,
just
no,
start
it's not.
yelling on a woman.
That's not what I mean.
Well, then it's like
I
there's a
just
start.
told you what I meant. I just told you what I
Okay, so
meant.
you believe most abusive relationship. Um,
In
what do you
which
mean?
the man lays hands on a woman. Let's be
Okay,
specific. Yes.
what I mean?
Most of them are found convicted of being the aggressor. That's just how it is.
How this is the thing where
Also,
I'm not talking
another
about the of course yes the aggressor men or show their abuse men will show their abuse I don't disagree with that
okay, so why don't they ever use this argument in court when
because
they're getting sentenced
here's the
for
thing
beating their
where
wife?
again
Why would they hold their tongue
verbal
on this issue?
abuse
Why are you the one with the knowledge on this while the criminal justice system has never heard it before? Like, why are you
because here's
specifically
no
the
no
one that
because
knows this?
if you
I don't
I mean like
understand that,
you
BA. Like, why do you even hold this theory? Why does it matter? At the end of the day, the only people that this helps like prop up and make look better in society are wife beaters. What's even the point of having this opinion? I'm serious about that. The only people that would be helped out by this argument are convicted wife beaters in this situation. Why are you even trying?
it's not the thing is that I'm not okay I'm not trying this is the thing
That's
where
true. We could admit
listen
that.
listen to
Why are we
listen
doing
to
this?
okay Alan you have a problem with really not letting me get a word in.
Okay. Yeah.
All
No,
right.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Okay. So
stop
you,
now.
you ask something, you continue to cut me off. I mean, I get it. You're young, but if you
All right, I'll
want to
stop.
learn
I
to
really
debate,
want you to explain why are you
yes.
even doing this?
So
Answer
why
my
am I
question.
doing this? Okay. Can I answer?
There's a bit of a lag, so if I talk over you for a second, that's why.
Okay.
But yes.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you why. Then we'll
Uh-huh.
just get back to the video. All right. I'm gonna tell you why, and we'll get back to the video because yes, we went off topic. I believe 100% accountability. I believe in 100% accountability. So I believe even you could call it victim blame, you could call it whatever. At the end of the day, I believe everyone, if not at least the majority of people, have some responsibility in their own outcomes. Right? I believe if not the majority or all have some hand in the results that happen in their life. So I do not believe, and I could look up the statistic, but I do want to move on with the video and the show, so we have more different conversations and debates. But again, I believe in accountability. So to say that, let's say every day a man comes home, he's welling on his wife, just no reason, right? Whatever
That's
he
not what
feels.
we're saying. That's not what we're saying. That's no one is
But
saying
that's what
that.
I'm saying. Like
No
you
one is
say it,
saying that.
right? Things happen, but why I said the system, right? Because again, physical abuse is easily proven. Physical abuse is easily proven in the court of law. Verbal abuse proves nothing. You can't necessarily prove it if you could at all, right?
I
Unless you
agree.
recorded it.
I
So
agree.
that is why it's understandable and logical that men are convicted, or why it matters more that you focus on the physical abuse. But again, why I care about, let's say, a bit, not maybe, again, two things can be true at once. A man that lays his hands on a woman, right, abusive, is disgusting in my opinion. But again, two things can be true at once. He is disgusting, but a lot of times we take away accountability from a woman, they never learn, right? They never learn because statistically,
Oh
women that
man.
stay in abusive relationships, they either continue to stay in abusive relationships or they continue to
Oh
get back into
man.
abusive relationships. That is a fact.
Most women who are in abusive relationships either stay in abusive relationships or go back into abusive relationships. That is a fact. Can you look that up for me?
No problem.
Most women, remember,
Well,
which means
most
to
women in abusive
most women in
most women
abusive
don't.
relationships choose to stay in abusive relationships or seek out another. I'm not going to take no 15%. You said most. I don't know the number on this. If you're right, then I'll
No,
concede you're right.
I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll concede as well.
All right.
Alan, you definitely keep me on my toes, so I'll give you that.
No, I kind of want to. I think that you have some good ideas and you talk well. I think you just kind of make things up sometimes, and that's what irks me. That's what bothers me about you, Dia. It's not you. I think you're a good person. Like, honestly, like, I think this is fine. I like what you do, honestly. I like you on the other side. I just don't like when you say things and without backing it up, because that's not good for anybody. Your audience is getting lied to, and you're lying. That's not good for anyone involved. So, audience that's listening to me, you've probably heard me before. That's why I'm here. Also, I just like arguing with people. I get a kick out of it. I'm bored and I don't have many friends at home. I mean, I'm home from college right now. I don't have much to do. You find anything yet?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. A research, small sample size. So, but research shows that many survivors leave, return, and leave again in one sample of women who had left a violent partner. 66% reported they had separated and reunited at least once, and the vast majority of them reunited multiple times.
Yeah. Okay. Where did this come from?
Let's see.
You gonna drop the link or just
It's a
say what
government.
the study is?
It's
I'll look it
a
up.
National Library of Medicine.
No, that's fine. Just like what's the the
I'll drop it.
website title called? Yeah, no word. I'm just curious because that makes sense. Returning at least once, sure, but
Well,
I guess
literally that backed up with what I said. So really, like,
no. Go back
I
one.
mean,
You can,
and
but you
literally
can't.
didn't back
Okay, coming
what you
back
said,
once
I
to
make up a
leave.
lot of things. So
No, going
literally.
back once to leave again is not the same thing as going back like nothing happened, all hunky dory. Like you.
What? What do you mean? I said I said they either stay in
Go
abusive relationship, or
right.
they
Stay,
they stayed
but they're leaving. That's
and
what
they
the
come
study
back. I
says.
mean,
And
like
then they leave
seriously,
again, and they leave
that's not
again. That's not
okay.
staying.
Or they come back multiple times.
I don't know. I mean, if I had an ex, yeah. I mean, if I broke up with my girlfriend and then we had like weird makeup sex 2 months later and then we never saw each other again, I wouldn't say that I got back with my ex. I wouldn't say that I stayed with my ex that entire time.
Well, I mean,
Would you consider
it's not,
would you consider me to be in that relationship that entire time
but if you,
and after in
I don't think
perpetuity?
that's what I don't think that's what I mean by staying, right?
Yeah, fair
Not
enough.
like,
What's
oh, see
the
the person one time and then goodbye the next. No, I don't think that's what they
what's
mean by staying.
is that the link?
Yep, that's a link.
Oh, my bad. Oh, why won't it?
But
I
all
won't
right,
open.
let's.
Shit, my bad, bro. I'll take your word for it. Still, I don't. You know what? Even with that point, though, I still think that the argument just doesn't. I don't think it makes much sense.
Well,
I get what you're
but
saying. I do
that's
get what you're
it's
saying, but
it's just surprising that you say you concede, but you don't. So
no, I
it's
concede on
I just
that
want to make that
point.
point.
Yes, sure. Most
I just
women
want to
come
make that
back.
point. That's
That's
it.
yeah. No, okay. I will agree with you. I'll take that as gospel. That's totally fine. Most women come back. Still, does that genuinely warrant? Also, okay. Before I say the next thing, do you think that getting yelled at by your 5'4" girlfriend is the same as punching your 5'4" girlfriend in the face? Do you
I
think that
don't.
that leads to the same amount
That's
of
not what I
like
said.
damage?
No, that's not what I
Okay,
said.
so if your 5'4" girlfriend yells at you sometimes, do you think that you using physical force on her, do you think
Again, that's not
that's
what
an
I'm saying.
equal amount?
But here's the thing, right? Can I say? Do you believe that verbal abuse is nothing? Do you believe that?
No, I wouldn't say that it's nothing.
Well, then, literally, I never
I do not think it is on the same
I
level.
never really said one the other is more or less than the other.
No, no, but I
that's
mean,
not my argument.
okay,
That
but
was
like
never
if
my argument,
someone,
really.
yeah, if someone like yelled at you on the street and like called you, I don't know, called you a mean word, do you think that warrants a violent response? Do you think that you would be
Can
able
I ask
to
you, right? I mean, do you
justify said violent response because they were
again?
mean to
No,
you?
that's not what I said too. I don't justify it. I don't say one is less than the other. Again, that's not my argument,
So why do
right?
you even bring it up?
Why I
I
bring it up
seriously,
because again, I literally said it.
accountability. I understand your accountability
Okay,
aspect. I do understand what you're saying. I
and
just
that's
don't.
plain and simple. That's it, right?
I know,
Accountability.
but like I brought up an example where men unfortunately dominate the unfortunate that's a bad field for men to dominate. I'm saying that when women bring that up, I don't think they're fighting against all men. I think they're saying that it is a little odd that men tend to be more physically violent, and I find it a little odd that you were easy to jump to. Well, what hand did the women have in it? It's like,
Well,
what's the point? A woman
what's
got
the point
beat,
is
a
that
man went to
again
jail. What's the point of even trying to dissect the?
I mean, okay, we could we could have a long ass debate about that, but let's
No, I
just
mean, okay, fair enough. We can move on. I just want you to remember who you're trying to make sympathy for. You're trying to make the beat women look worse by bringing up something of that nature. And I
no.
don't really
This
understand
is the
why.
thing. No, because then what you do is like you don't understand that you take away accountability from people.
I'm not taking
Right?
away. Yeah,
You take away
unfortunately, yeah. Okay,
agency from
sure.
people, right? You
I
take away
will take
agency
away the
from people.
accountability of the woman who yelled at her husband after she got her bones broken. Yeah, I'll take away
But
the
see,
accountability in that situation.
you pretty much
I'm
see.
okay
This
with
is the
that.
thing where. So, do you believe women are weak, powerless, and useless? It's like there's
No, of course
agency
not.
in all of us, right? We all have
Yeah.
agency. Okay, this is my point where this is why I hate the the viewpoints of the left where it seems like it's perpetual
Okay.
victimism, right? It's like is there no agency in what you're doing, right? Is there like again, what
I
I
get
go
what you're
about is that
saying.
I don't disregard one for the other, right? I don't when I say like when I point to let's say women, it doesn't mean that men are angels or amazing people. That's again, it's two things can be true at once, right? So that's not the point or the purpose of what I'm doing. Right? That's my thing. Okay. But sometimes it really feels like, and this is the problem where I think if you want to make changes, right? You, Alan, right? If you want to make changes, you can't just say you want to make changes. This is the problem I see with the left, where
All right,
how they're
let's get
going
in. Yeah.
about it, how they're
Uh,
going about it is that they focus on, what about like last time, right? With you, it's what
yeah.
about ism, right? It's a what aboutism. Oh, you know what? Men are abused, but what about women? What about women are abused? See, it's like again,
No, but
what's
it's
that
not what
point?
about women are abused. It's about the
That
fact
is
that
what you did last time, right? I mean, not
no,
necessarily
yeah,
what
I
you said,
did
right?
because yeah, I mean
And
because you
again,
can
see,
bring up
that's the
any
point.
crackpot 2% statistic. I think that bringing up the other 98% in that situation, yeah, you can call it a whataboutism, but I think it's pertinent.
So
I can bring up any
that's
crackpot
funny.
0.1%
See,
study.
that's the
What? So if you
hypocrisy of
say
that, right? No, that's
okay,
that's
then
the
well,
hypocrisy
I'm
of that.
saying, but I mean, if I bring up like the fact, like, okay, I can say that most doors don't open, and I can go, well, a study found that 0.1% of doors just don't open, And then you go, what about all the others? And then, yeah, I mean, I guess I can immediately shut you down by saying, oh, what aboutism? Oh, what aboutism? No, I mean, I think that it's pertinent. If
Well,
I
then,
say a claim based on minimal evidence, which is fine, you're allowed to use, yeah, two things can be true at the same time. It doesn't disregard the other majority. So yes, I think it is odd that I think it's completely insane to bring up male domestic violence rates without also bringing up women.
okay, but then see that's the thing where okay, why is it
Same with sexual assault. Same
so?
with like
But see,
falsified
that's
cases.
the
You
bit
need
of the
to.
hypocrisy I see in you, right? So fine, right? Then I
Please
use your
explain.
same logic when we're talking about men that are in this situation right here, and I bring
Yeah.
up women, and then you say no. Why are you even bring up that? You literally
Because
do the opposite.
I get what you're saying, but it is so negligible, and the only
Oh, so
people that
now
would
it's so
be affected.
negligible.
No,
See,
no, no. I'm getting
that's
to this.
no, but look, Alan,
No,
stop.
no. I'm saying that
No,
it's
but you gotta
negligible
stop. You
either
gotta stop because
way.
I can't finish. Right? You're not letting me finish anything.
Uh-huh.
Right? So again, this is the point with the left, right? So
Okay.
if it fits with the left's viewpoint,
This isn't a left
it's
thing.
fine.
This is not a
Well,
lefty thing at
I'm
all.
talking in
This is
general, right?
right
I'm talking
to
in general because I'm not trying to
endorse.
necessarily attack you, right? I'm not trying to attack you. I'm saying in
Okay.
general where this is the hypocrisy that I see a lot. Where okay, so if it's your point of view, it's okay to use whatever, right? What aboutism or what about this case? What about that? But if
Yeah.
it's my point of view or men's point of view or the right or whatever, why are you doing that? Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You da 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 da. And that's
You know
the thing
what?
where a lot of people don't see, and you yourself are not seeing.
No, I do see that. I agree,
Now
but
you see it.
no, I saw it from the beginning. I get what you mean. Um, I will say, I think the
Snorlax, what's
majority
up?
of that
What's
comes.
up?
I Snorlax, hi buddy. Yeah, typically the whataboutisms are kind of diminished when we're fighting for the people being punched down on, so to speak. Right? So like I think that yes, the left does do that a lot, but they really only do it in service when the other side, which I guess is you in this case, whatever, is defending or bringing up the about the people that are actively typically doing the bad thing, right? So I think that's where the disconnect is because yeah, you're right, the left does do that a lot, but the left does that a lot to service the fact to highlight the insane disproportionality of it. When we're allowed to admit that in this situation, unfortunately, it's not a good look for men. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You don't need to go into the finer things. You can, but like also your ideas. I don't see really any evidence that proves that most men that are hitting their girlfriends are also being verbally abused by their girlfriends. I can't find anything on that, which is another reason why I kind of push back. I don't know if you have anything on that. You
I
might.
could, but I don't want to spend my time researching everything because I do
Then
want to move the
okay,
show along.
I understand
So,
that, but why? I guess my thing is like,
I mean, if we
whatever.
want
This
to, I mean,
last
again,
time.
if I'm always down. If you want to make,
No.
do a whole show about abuse,
Oh
we
yeah,
could
no,
do
you're
that.
fine. You're fine. We can move on.
Yeah.
That's why I got a little, a little upsetty. But
But
we're good. We're
but
good. We're good.
then,
We're
right?
good.
This is the point. But being upset is that you could do something, but when someone else does it, it's there's no valid in it. That's
No, no, I'm not saying there's no validation. Yeah, of course. If I was having a long form debate with you about rape statistics and you wrote up men's sexual assault, of course there's validity in it. But I don't think it doesn't undermine my point the same way that you
again.
doing it to me would
You
undermine
guys,
mine.
you gotta think, right? You gotta think what point I made. I never made the point that okay, let's say the bad men are
You're saying you
not
take
that bad or
women
less
need to
bad.
take accountability. Women as a whole need to take accountability and then use this as an example to prove it. Which is just odd. I find it odd. I'm sorry. I just find that odd. I feel like most people would. Please continue this opinion. I'm not gonna shame you for it. And yeah,
No,
you're right.
I
You got me.
don't. I'm not worried about that part.
I'm just saying that is an odd opinion to have.
Omni, what's up? What's up?
I've never really heard that
We could.
before
I
in
mean,
my
we could always
life.
go we could always go
We don't
deeper
need to
into
get
things,
into it. But like
let's
you understand. Wait, what was the even? Okay, whatever. We already went over this. I'm done. You can
yeah.
please play the video. I'm curious now.
The decision-making process that don't have to go and die in law. That actually means you have a higher social status than men in society.
But now, aren't women being attracted to
Nope.
No?
You don't even know. You don't even know.
I I don't. That's what I'm asking.
Are you being drafted right now today?
No, they're
But
not.
I know that I know a lot of women that are in the military.
So where are you from? Speak into your microphone. You said you wanted to speak, and you got your turn. Where are you from?
Ukraine.
And are the men being drafted in Ukraine?
Drafted some in.
Are the men being forced to go to war?
What's up, boys?
Being forced to go to war?
Not yet.
No, they're
Fucking
not.
going on, fellas?
All the women here.
Where?
Big bars. What's up, my brother? Whiskey. What's up?
How we doing?
Alan is like Eric von Stroheim. He's the lefty we love to hate.
I didn't hear anything except for the word lefty, so I'll take it as a direct insult. Is that a compliment?
Eric von Stroheim, you know who he is?
I don't know. Eric von Stroheim? Who's Eric von Stroheim?
Eric von
Okay.
Stroheim.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
He was the man they loved to hate.
The man they love to hate is an Austrian American director, screenwriter, actor of last era 24. Oh, nice.
Alan,
He seems like a cool guy.
have you ever watched a Bill Burr's bit on domestic violence?
Oh no, I haven't actually. Was it in a special or like
Yeah, it was before he went woke.
that doesn't
So-
narrow it down very much for me. I don't really know
Yeah.
what woke means still.
Pretty famous.
I
yeah.
missed the woke era. I missed the woke thing. I was like 11 when that word started coming around, and now I don't think anyone really understands it.
Let's continue with the video.
Okay. And yeah, the audio was a little quiet.
Yeah,
for
I'm gonna
the YouTube
bring
audio.
it up.
Wait, hold on, stop. All the women here, you got somebody right here. Here's the different privilege that men have. The men in her country, she's Ukrainian. You know what she's been doing the past 3 years? She's been going on 100 dates with foreigners, American men. She's been dating American men while her countrymen are being fucking slaughtered. You want to talk about male privilege, female privilege? She's fucking in the club in Miami. She's in the, you're
No, I'm not.
How is this not a bigger fucking evidence of a differential between the privilege that women have versus the oppression that men have? Her countrymen, her men in her country are fucking dying. She's in the fucking club in Miami, and you're rolling your fucking eyes about dead Ukrainian men. That's
Oh my
disgusting.
God! Don't make it about that. But okay,
Yeah, rolling her eyes.
so the answer to this that would make it feel good is that both are equally suppressed. Correct?
No, they're not though, because there's
They're
no
not?
such thing as equal. If they're going and dying and she's in the club in Miami, she got to
But why are
do
we
it.
just basing off of her? Why are we just basing off of her? There's
Okay.
how many
Can
women
I say
are
something, man?
Go for it.
It's like if a guy was to shoot, if I was to shoot her and shoot myself, and she's like, "You hurt me," and I say, "I'm hurt too." Who's hurt more? The one that got shot or the one that shot themselves?
Well, I'll tell you what would happen. You would go to prison for a lot less than a man who shot her.
Really?
Oh man,
Can we look at that?
That's like that.
Oh my God. Mate.
See,
Everyone in this video is insufferable. Oh my god. Why? Jesus Christ.
our like XY.
Every single
This is the
person.
thing where I want to like why like you have yet to give a real argument of why Bryant is a goofball. I mean, I'm not saying he's not in general. I'm saying with this
Wait, which one's
his
Brian?
argument, this one right here, the one in the white.
Oh yeah, that was kind of a goofball argument.
But no, but
I'd say.
here's the thing: where at the end of the day, right? I mean, I'm not saying that
That was a
I
bit of a
don't
goofball
necessarily
argument.
try to play the victim Olympics, but I mean, on this video, I wanted to do that. Yeah, I believe that men in general are more oppressed than women in general. He's trying to guilt.
Whoa, that's your fucking claim tonight?
Yes, that's my claim tonight.
I don't.
Alan, no swearing. Stop swearing.
I'm not allowed to swear. It's a show. It's a live stream. It's not a chat.
It's
How's he trying to guilt trip her? Because it is true what he said.
That men die in wars. Okay.
Ukraine, like let's say, in specifically, in recent years, right? The Ukraine, well, majority of men are on the front line, while women are not, and they are able to travel outside of their country. So, in this one particular, here's a Ukrainian woman able to travel and have fun outside of her country, while the men of her actual country have to be in the front line. It's not guilt tripping because it's true, right? And it is an example of how these two men believe that men in general are more oppressed than women. It's not. No. I'm not saying it's her fault, right? Again, it's not. This is a thing where I guess it goes back to what me and Alan was trying to debate over. I'm not saying that let's say a woman that's a victim to her wife beating husband, it's her fault. No, right? It's not necessarily it's her fault. But this is a problem we never really talk about. One, I believe everyone has, accountability. They have some, some action in their, in their life. And two, it's like you can't. This is the thing where you cannot one say that women are oppressed when honestly men can give examples of men actually being oppressed, but then you disregard it.
Okay, what are we what are we disregarding?
Well, we're disregarding that men are oppressed, and he gave a clear example of men being oppressed.
Yeah,
men,
but I think
in general,
men being conscripted into a war by a weirdo democracy half the world away. I don't think that's an example of men everywhere being oppressed.
I didn't say men everywhere, right?
Yeah, so men in Ukraine, that's what we're talking.
I'm just saying men are oppressed, right? So
yes, I think that right now Ukrainian men are being oppressed with the conscription service. I'll agree with you.
Yeah, so women on this panel, right? On this panel, particularly,
do you think that most Ukrainian women are rich enough to just leave the country? It's fucking Ukraine.
No, but I think most
Ukrainian women are getting bombed right now. Yeah, they're not on the front line because they don't get conscripted because of their weird fucking military rules created by. You want to guess?
But again, men have to suffer through that too.
Right. So why wouldn't we just? Why are you going after the woman who fled a warring country and not?
No.
Like
see,
Zelensky?
Again. See. That's how you're going about it, right? I never went. It's not about going after anybody, right? It's not. I guess, like I said, I don't necessarily love doing a victim Olympics, but in this video, for the purpose of this video, it's kind of a victim Olympics, right? So just saying that men in general are more oppressed than women in general for the purpose of this video. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, like in that example, yeah, sure. I'll say. Yeah.
So
selective service.
But again, I'm more saying that why would XY say the things that they are saying about this, right? Wow, who's the clown you've been debating?
That's me. I'm Alan. My name is Alan Smithy. I live in Detroit, Michigan. You can come hang out with me, honestly. Hit me up on MySpace and Facebook, and I'll have a lovely chat with you.
MySpace?
Look me up. Yeah,
who uses MySpace?
Me. Look me up on Google, Alan Smithy. I'm a famous guy. I've made movies.
Yeah,
a lot of movies. Alan Smithy, baby.
Alan Smithy is when a director doesn't like the movie.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, good for you. Wait, never mind. That's sick.
So
I like you a lot more now. That's awesome.
Yeah, the point is we don't want women in combat because they're horrible in combat. They don't have the physical endurance to fight in combat.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think anyone's really disagreeing with that.
I would rather have this. I'd rather have this Ukrainian woman here going to bars and instead of at the front lines because she'd just be a liability.
Alan, you got a fan.
I did not have a channel. Honestly, no, I'm just bored. I should make a YouTube channel.
Alan comes on this.
I should make a YouTube channel. I do come on here a lot.
Yeah, Alan does come on here a lot.
You're like my favorite person. I really do. I'm serious, DA. I disagree with so much you say, but I just can't stop coming. I just really like hearing the other, like your opinions. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I'm happy you're speaking your opinions. God bless America, baby. They're so out there that I can't get enough of it.
How old are you anyway?
I am 21 years of age. I can finally drink legally. I got rid of that fake ID a minute ago. I'm pretty happy about that.
As you get older, you'll see that the world is not black and white.
No, I know that. Oh, I'm sure that I will. I'm just saying in this moment, this is my beliefs, and I'm talking about them.
You're not going to be using hyper-specific anymore. When you get
you were the hyper-specific guy? It is a word. It's a word.
All right, let's just continue. Let's continue.
It is a word. It's in the dictionary. I looked it up. But fair enough. Ooh, maybe I do have a crush on DA. Ooh, his hair, those eyes got to me.
Make a good point. Go. You're such a big dumb. Okay, So it's actually that wasn't
self-defending.
all that good a point.
Nope, just a kid.
I'm good.
Wait, can anybody in the chat find me?
Because the men, they think logically.
So can somebody in the chat find me? I just saw this yesterday. There's a news story. I believe it was in either New York or Florida. A female judge, released a woman who murdered her boyfriend.
Self-defense.
Okay. Why do you assume that? Why do you assume that?
I was just kidding. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, you mentioned this. Jake was bringing this thing up. That these women, they get less harsh sentences.
English.
This woman,
That's mean.
and she got released.
What?
Your English YT is bullying me in chat. Oh, I'm so fucking sad now.
Well, men get away with rape cases all the time. They
They don't
years.
get released if they're convicted, though. Yeah.
They most of the time they get
Well,
a
the
little
trial
pat
is
on the back.
still
Though.
pending.
But if you want to talk about like the legality argument, there is absolutely no doubt that women get treated a lot softer than men in the legal system for the same crimes. You can't deny that. Is that a privilege?
Yeah.
I guess yeah. Everybody has privilege. Though.
Yeah,
Every
somebody
class has
along the
privilege.
way, we decided that men are stronger and they
What do you
think
mean we decided
they
this
think
are?
men are stronger. They think more logically. So why would a man who
Well,
thinks
that's really sexist
wait
towards
for
women.
no listen
why
for
would
a
you
man
let-
that's stronger and a man that thinks more logically, why would he just randomly kill a woman? A woman, she must have just went off her emotions.
No,
and
that's
killed
not true.
this
Actually,
guy.
it's not about motive. It's not about
That's a
intent.
good point.
But also, let me ask you
Insight.
a question. If men are so much bigger and stronger and more logical, why do we let women vote?
They fought for it.
Fight for that one.
So-
Can I give an insight?
They let women. Oh no, go.
Were you going to say something?
You go for it.
Go ahead.
So just you brought up the legal system and everything. I just want everybody to know that the legal system for divorces are completely changed, where usually the man is favored now, and so
He's the
the
breadwinner.
woman will be treated
No,
like
Grandpa.
20 years ago or
What do
30
you
years
mean?
ago,
How so?
like just custody battles, things like that.
So the men have
Spousal
men.
support.
It's equal or men have advantage?
No, they have advantage today.
Are you the breadwinner? Like you got divorced, right?
I was not the breadwinner.
Are you paying? Wait, quick. You.
I
you're-
can't get
you're
into the
divorced.
details of it, but trust me, the guy gets more leeway than the woman.
Wait, is the divorce finalized?
Yes,
Okay, and you have 3 kids?
3.
And are they like adults or still?
one adult, 2 children.
Who has
Yeah.
custody?
It's 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I
Is he
can't
paying
get
you?
into
Is he
the
paying you
details.
child support?
No.
Are you paying him child support?
No.
I mean, this doesn't seem like an unequal outcome here. You have 50-50 custody.
How do you split the assets?
Neither of you are paying child support. Is there alimony?
No,
How do you split the
What's-
assets?
I mean, so this is equal, or I'm just
no.
confused.
Some things transpired where like I can't get into the details, but
Who kept the house?
well, I moved out and I bought my own house, so I'm just saying like in the scope of like the woman being judged for what they do, they're also like judged on how like they say like the mother is the mother, the child will always see the mother. This is not true in court. Like there have been times
so
when
you're upset that the preferential treatment that women used to get, now it's like they're looking at men and women equally? What's wrong with that?
No, they're not looking equally.
Oh, so now
They're
men have,
favoring men
but
now.
but you got, there's no child support, no alimony, 50-50 custody. I could understand your argument if your ex-husband got like a higher proportion of custody, but it's, unless you present to me
Well,
evidence.
at one point he did, and so that was stunning to me because I was a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
But I can't get into the details of it. I
Well,
just
yeah.
can't.
I
But trust
do-
me, the man gets more in the legal system these
Okay.
days
Well, I
when
mean,
it comes to family law.
I would love to get into that, but I do need to move things on a little bit. We question, is submission unconditional or a conversation? So we can go around the table on this really quick if you guys can give quick answers. Is submission unconditional, or do you have to have a conversation, I guess, before you submit on a specific thing?
Conditional. If you're submissive without having conditions, you're just naive and stupid. Right. But yeah,
Okay.
you said quick answers, right? Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Conditional, yeah.
Wait, submission is unconditional
Oh no, it's no, it depends on the situation.
on the situation. So you, if I understand it correctly for the both of you, in each situation, you might question the request or demand by your partner, and depending on how you feel about it, you'll choose to go along with it, submit, or not go along with it. Is that a fair representation of your position?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. What about you?
I don't understand the question. Sorry.
So submission. Do you know what it means to be submissive?
Yes.
So is submissive something that you would be without any questions, or do you need to have questions in the different situations?
Of course, if it's different situations, I need the questions.
Okay, carry on.
Okay.
Conversational.
Has to be a conversation. Okay. What about
Conversation.
conversation? What about you?
I'm in a relationship with them, then.
Not if you're in a
It's what?
Not if you're in a relationship.
Okay.
No,
well-
we're talking about in a relationship.
Yeah, it's in
Oh, in a relationship.
Yeah, I trust them. I am submissive. Yes.
Okay.
I would say it is a conversation to have, because if you're just submitting to everything they say and because you deem yourself a submissive woman, that man who may not be a leader could lead you to fucking hell. Like,
Take
you don't
advantage of
know.
you.
You're gonna have to trust them, like she said, have that conversation, have the questions, because that is important to know that you're being led in the right path.
Okay, sure. What about you?
Unconditional love.
Unconditional. Sorry, what?
Unconditional love.
The submissive.
Love.
Submissive.
Okay. I have a clip for you guys to react to that's related to this. Damien, can you get that pulled up? So you guys say you want leaders and dominant men, and you're gonna be submissive. I watch this clip.
I got away with everything under the last boss, and it wasn't good for me at all. So I want guidance. I want leadership. But don't just like boss me around, you know? Like lead me. Lead me when I'm in the mood to be led.
I love the office. The office is so good.
Right.
That's y'all. Lead me
When I'm in the
when
mood.
I'm in the mood to be led, and I'm gonna question every single thing
No
that
one ever
you
said
do.
question.
But I want you to be a leader. I want you to have a I want you to be a leader, but I'm giving you no authority.
I can say that.
You have
That's what you
authority. No, you have authority. It's just like
You're the only one who said unconditional. But yeah, well, so what that means though is that, and this is the conversation that comes back to with black and white submission. We've had this conversation with her before. Is she said that it's a spectrum. This is why it's actually not a spectrum. Because if we're in a relationship and there's one situation where you're like, actually, you know what? In this situation, I'm not going to be submissive. That just means that you're the boss. And what that means is that you get to decide when you're submissive and when you're not. So ultimately, that means that you're deciding in every situation. At any moment, you can say, "Not today, buddy." So actually,
No.
you're the boss. So that's why it's in black
if
and
y'all
white.
talked about it, then there should not be any other question on towards it. Like, okay,
Why do I
so
need to talk about it with you
for
if
example,
you're
for-
submissive to me?
here's my example. A lot of people here have been hurt. I can bet you that. Have been misled and put in a horrible situation. Me, myself, I can speak for myself. I've been submissive to a man that was only putting me in bad situations. So now I'm gonna ask you, like, what is your intention with this? Before I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do it. If it's something simple like take your shoes off, sure, you got that. I'm gonna take my shoes off. You wanna see my feet? You got that.
You want to know something? You know when it's the most important to be submissive? When it's something big.
Of course, when it's something big, like, okay, we're about to go and, I don't know, rob this bank down here, and I need you to go to the left wing. I'm not going to ask, why do you need me to go to the left wing? I'm going to go to the left wing, I'm going to take care of what I need to take care
I
of.
mean,
But, but if they're like, oh, I need you to, I don't want to take it there, but I need you to sell your body so that we can buy a house. Be for real. I'm supposed to follow you. I'm supposed to say, with no question, yes, I'm going to go sell my body so that we can get a house together, Daddy.
Okay,
I'm so submissive to you.
So when
Be for real.
when we're talking about this, I don't think like you mentioned robbing a bank, criminality. That would not be like your man is not living in a virtuous manner.
But which man? Because there's so many different types of men. Even though you guys like to collectively
Right.
gang up together, that doesn't mean that there's different
What
types
he's
of men
saying
or not.
basically is that you're taking it to some extremes, and obviously within the context of the situation, within the context of the conversation, we're not talking about asking you to do absolutely heinous things like that. We're talking about within the boundaries of a normal relationship.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to ask their wife to go and sell their ass on the street, and nobody's going to ask their wife to rob a bank. Although if you did do it, that's pretty based. If you did to hide the body to rob the bank, that's based. But nobody's going to really ask them to do that.
Yeah, and one thing on that.
So I've just
Hold
met
on,
multiple people like that.
Hold on. So, like, if you were to ask men who want a kind of more traditional dynamic and they want their woman to be submissive to them and they want to lead, I can't imagine you could find any man who would be okay with the following scenario. So, I mean, taking your examples to even more extreme, what if your man tells you to go jump off a bridge and delete yourself?
I'm supposed to be submissive to him.
No. Any man who's in favor of a submissive dynamic is going to say, no, that is beyond the scope of what we're talking about here when women should be submissive.
So maybe that's the confusion between today's
But
man
you're trying to
and
use
a different man. No, because today's man will put you in the worst scenario
What
and
kind of
then
guys
expect
are
you to be
What
submissive.
kind of guys are you dating?
Okay, but there's different type of people in the world.
So just to be clear, you've dated multiple men that have tried to prostitute you? I would have no issue with you not being submissive to them then.
I would, okay.
In fact, you should break up with a guy who's trying to get you to become a prostitute.
And
That's
did.
not a man of virtue. But
how are you to determine that in the first 10 minutes? Because you said that we determined that in the first 10 minutes that we're going to fuck with this guy or not. And then also, if you just walked into the house and someone says, take your shoes off, just walked into the house and they say, take your shoes off, and you don't ask why, isn't that the same thing as if you were with a man that had horrible fucking thought processes and thought like, oh yeah, like the only way for us to get money is if my girl goes out and fucking tricks niggas, right? So you have to be.
You just like speaking, don't you?
No, but I'm making a point, and you're trying to dismiss it.
That's actually
I'm with you.
Do men really want women who are submissive? I don't get that.
No, that's why it's like a lot of women are ridiculous with their arguments because it really doesn't make sense logically, right? I mean, because she's saying like the first 10 minutes, no man's first 10 minutes is telling you to sell your body either. A lot of these women are ridiculous.
I would just like a woman who I knew wouldn't cheat on me.
Yes,
that's what I'm looking for in a woman.
I agree.
Have to be cautious in this day and age. That's all I'm saying.
I think the conditions aren't based on what they're asking. It's based on how dominant are you. How dominant? Like if I have to pay my own things, if I'm taking you out, I'm not going to be submissive. But if you're paying my bills and you're doing what you're supposed to do as a man, you're going to get blind submission. How dominant are you? It depends on how submissive you are. Are you going to take me out and make me dates, or do I have to ask you to take me out and take me on dates? That depends.
So,
that's what it really based on.
You decide.
Right. It's
Exactly. So you're the boss.
No.
Because if he's not dominant enough,
it's about picking the right partner.
Don't women have more options?
Exactly. They always use such extremes. I mean, it's just really ridiculous.
Yes, it is. It's crazy because I just don't understand I pick a horrible person. Now it's their fault because I picked the horrible person. I don't understand the argument.
Exactly. And this is the thing where, again, that's the extremes women use, right? It's either like extremely bad men or like, I don't know, extremely boring men. It's just, there's like no in between with a lot of women.
I kind of just think the problem is that women have been taught that they can be men and they have not been held accountable like a man. And that is the true issue. Because when you act like a man, you want to do this and do that and have this final say, but then you are not held accountable for the actions of that. That's what we get. That's when you have what we have now, in my opinion.
XY, y'all use extremes also. Like what? Please give me an example. I'm always down for a conversation, right? What extremes did I use?
What do you mean? In terms
Don't women have more options than men?
In terms of sex, yes, but no dating, no. That's not true.
So when you're dominant,
how does one act like a man? I mean, what do you mean act like a man? Act like a moral man? Men act like men. It's just, if you're a man, you're acting like a man, right? I mean, if you're a hetero man, you act like a man. So I mean, what do you mean? You have a little bit more context to that, right? Act like a morally sound man, act like a good man. What do you mean by a man?
Dominant means 24/7 dominance, like complete dominance. The way submission is black and white, right?
Yeah.
So your dominance, like 100%, go as I say. I'm gonna take care of you. Do what I say. You know what I'm saying? And the submission is black and white, like either yes, master. There's no scale in it. That's what I'm saying. It's either like
if your boyfriend or husband is asking something that contravenes your moral or ethical code, in this case prostitution or self-harm,
and something that's
then like one, that should be the end of the relationship, and two, no, you shouldn't do it. But when we're talking about submission, typically we're talking about like decisions that would be within like a sort of socially acceptable and common purview,
but
like decisions about the children, decisions about the household.
And we can't really have the conversation as well. If every time we want to have a generalized conversation, it gets taken all the way to the extreme. It's like impossible to have the conversation. So
is it because there's nothing generalized about it? There's so many different type of people.
I guess that happens all the time then.
Yeah, nobody's asking anybody to jump off a bridge. I'm not going to say no based off what you're asking me, but I might question you based off what you're doing for me and how is your life.
Not even for me, but just in general for us. Like, for anything beneficial.
Are you a good person?
It also comes down to the person that you pick as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's about picking the right partner.
When it comes to submission, though, if you say, oh, well, he made me do this, then kind of the buck stops with you because you chose a guy who would
Well,
choose to
but if
prostitute
you said that
If
you
you have
wouldn't, then
such a
you're not
poor,
submissive.
if you, I was having a conversation with her. If you have such a poor judge of character that you like were to choose someone like that, then kind of falls on you, right?
Right. I don't think you have to choose to be submissive, but choose who you're going to be submissive to. That's why I agree. That's what it is. It's like
it's the masculine energy, right? When you're domineering, when you're aggressive, when you're combative, you know, it's just the dominant nature, right? Masculine, right? That's acting like a man, right? Very combative, very aggressive, typical, stereotypical men like nature.
Yeah, and I think it's sadly like an age thing. I think people at a certain age have not even seen how a real lady woman is supposed to act, so they don't even know. They have no context of it. And she says like when that person said XY says, I said that women act like men, but yes, women are acting masculine, like aggressive, and they're not held to the same standards as men. And I don't think they understand it. They don't understand because they're not men. And see, that's the true thing that I think more people need to understand. You're not a man. You're not held to the same standard as a man is. That's just like Alan. How he says that his mindset is of a person who has never been manipulated by a woman, who has never had been cheated on horribly by a woman, who's never been. He has no context of it, in my opinion.
I have an example of how women act like men and don't want any repercussions from it. We've all seen the YouTube videos of women assaulting, other men, restaurant people, and people in restaurants, and they think that that's. And then when someone hits them back, they're all taken aback and surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
remember there was that video of that woman that jumped over the counter because her fries weren't right, and she started hitting this guy at McDonald's, and the guy pulled out a lead pipe or some instrument, and he whacked her.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that video?
I think I heard about it.
That was probably 10 years old.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a way that women act like men. They are getting more physical, more physically abusive to everyone.
Yeah. XY says who, right? Who determines what is masculine and what is feminine? General nature, right? General society. Society usually, again, it's stereotypical, society's point of view of what is masculine, what is feminine, right? So it is agreed upon agreed upon thing that usually men are more aggressive, more combative, more violent prone. Those are attributes that are usually put on men. How if I don't mind if that's been countered, or that kind of mindset is broken. I don't mind it, but right now that is, so it's made up. Is it see, with that kind of mindset, everything is made up, right?
Anyway, for right now, I'm going to get away from all of this.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was that when you were arguing with Alan, that there are men who are very abusive, and we don't like those men.
Yeah,
and most men know that you shouldn't be abused. I would say 70% of men know that you shouldn't be abusive to women, even if they are abusive to you.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, because like I said, it's not. Again, yes, are there abusive men? Yes, but that's not the majority of men.
Correct. It's not
Right?
majority.
So, and men keep other men in check. That's how society has always been.
Right.
So, pretty much everything, when it comes to societal norms or society structure, it is made up by people, by men. Also, women make it up too. Right? Or either they make it up or they perpetuate it and they add to it. So it's just culture. It's just how humans are.
I just want to say this to XX. the same. If a woman can get aggressive with a man and hit a man and beat on a man till they bleed, then that man should be able to defend himself without any true consequence. But the X would combat that with, oh, well, a man should have hit a woman. That's what are we talking about? That's like insane. That's like not logical. That's like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So if you can hit me, but I can't hit you, that is what I was saying, that women are not held to the same standard as men. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what really what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, for me personally, I believe men should walk away, but I will never. If a man is being abused, I mean, that's just if it happens, I'm not gonna like you know uh harp on a man defending himself. Now, I'm more saying that yeah, I promote more men walking away, but in society now that we try to promote equality, well, that's I mean, that's part of equality. So
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't have it both ways. And this
mhm,
is I'm speaking from a person who's actually fought men who put their hands on women, and then
mhm.
that woman went right back to that man. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? I've
yeah.
been in that situation actually. I've actually defended women because I held well, I still hold women in high regard, but it's diminishing because women are insane. They have taken a little bit of power and ran with it. You know how you say you give somebody a little bit of rope and watch them hang themselves? That is to me what is happening. Either you want the protection of men or you don't. That's how I kind of feel. At the end of the day, I mean, we just got, like I said, because I've been in situations where I have defended women and been made out to be the bad guy. I think that it's like you have to pick which side you want to be on. You can't have everything. See, and I think that's what's wrong with feminism. You can't have it all. You can't have it both ways.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I, I, I think you're right on that because I think it's in the DNA of men to help women,
Yeah.
even though I kind of try not to help women. When you see women struggling, it's just there's something in you that pulls you to that woman, and it's really hard to turn away from them.
Mhm,
If,
mhm,
if
mhm.
their tire is flat or they're hauling out lumber from Home Depot or physical things like that. So Big Bears, that's true. I mean, there's many times where I wanted to turn away from a woman that needed help, but there's something in us, something in men that I don't know what it is. It's just we feel like we have to help them.
We have to
Yeah.
help everybody. I mean, if you a real man, see, that's the thing. I think some men are. We all are not created equal. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? You have men out here that go to go to the ends of the earth, and you have men that won't get off of their sofa. So how? And this is what I was saying. So I talking to my cousin one time, and I said, "So you're trying to tell me that out of all the books I've read, out of all the stuff I've done, out of all the money I made, that somebody who sits on the couch and does nothing is equal to me? That's kind of crazy. Like we do not live where I would think if you want socialism, go to a socialist country. We don't live in a socialist country. That's how I feel.
Steve, thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. English, you're a member. Real Rain is here. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say this, right? XY, thank you for being here. Right? I know that I love disagreeers, right? I don't mind people who disagree, who have their own opinions. So respectfully, thank you for being here, right? Thank you for being in the comment section. So I just want to give your props and say thank you for being here. Right?
Da, there's one other thing I wanted to comment on when you were talking to Alan.
Go
It's
ahead.
odd, it's odd to me that he didn't think that emotional abuse was as equally as bad as physical abuse.
That's
Isn't
I
that
mean,
crazy? I mean, emotional abuse is horrible.
I do think it's horrible, right? I'm not saying that physical abuse is the not this is the problem I had with Alan in that conversation, is that it's not like I didn't say that physical abuse was like light or not important, but again, it seems like we always counteract, because a lot of women do put emphasis on emotional abuse, right? I mean, they put a lot of emphasis on emotional abuse. They put emphasis on like financial abuse. So why is it, if it happens to men, why is it so taken lightly, right? If men get emotionally abused or financially abused, oh, that is light. But if it's physical abuse, I mean, that's the thing where, again, I don't. I've said it. Two things can be true at once. How he was painting a picture of it. I didn't agree with. So, Red Door, what's up, my sister? What is up?
Yeah, I just think Ellen really need, number one, me, I'm getting to the point where I don't, like I said, DA, you've taught me a lot, and I'm getting
Oh,
to the point where I don't argue with people. He made a comment twice now that he just likes to argue. So that means that he's not going to, that it's not about coming to a realization about anything. He just likes to argue. He need to go to law school. He needs to go to law school instead of standing on live streams when people are really trying to help each other. We're really trying to form a brotherhood, and he's sitting there just arguing for the sake of arguing. Number one, that's kind of feminine to me, in my opinion. In my opinion, just in my opinion, I'm not. He would say I'm taking shots at them. Really, I'm not. I'm just making general statements. A man who just wants to argue for the sake of arguing is very feminine to me, in my opinion, of what I've seen growing up from the men and from the women that in my perception, that I have seen. It's very feminine, because that's not what men do. Men don't just argue just to argue. Men have a point, and we're trying to get our point across, and we're trying to hear the other person's point of view. That's what men do, in my opinion.
No, I mean, here's the thing where I get it, right? I mean, for me, it's like I always want to try to promote. I agree, right? I mean, yeah, Alan likes to argue. It's fine. For me, it's like because here's I want to try to promote that, I'm not the type of person who wants to promote an echo chamber, right? I want to try to think of where, what? I believe what I believe, right? But I'm always fine with defending my beliefs, right? I'm always fine with defending my beliefs. I'm always, because I promote this, right? I don't care what side of the aisle you are, right? If you're a woman, if you're a man, if you disagree, if you agree, I accept everyone, right? So I don't mind. I mean, it's cool that, not everyone, will accept it. That's fine. But it's the thing where I will be respectful, and it's, again, we give some people certain, spotlight. So I try to give everyone a spotlight, and, I think it's fun time, right? Sometimes it's fun to, have a conversation, a disagreement. So I don't mind. Right? It's okay. So.
Yeah, but someone who argues for the sake of arguing isn't really a bad person. I mean, that's what you do in debate.
Yeah.
If you're in debate in high school or college or whatever.
XY. I want to say XY. I want to promote a brotherhood, but it's not. I don't want to try to make it strictly for the boys, right? We have Red Door here. Red Door here, amazing woman, right? We do have a handful of women, right? So I try to be respectful, and that's why I also, promote. If you have different point of views, I'm always down to talk. So don't think that it's a boys' club or anything. But again, I do want to promote that. Like I said, I think no one cares about men. So I tried to make that a big issue, that I want to know all my brothers, and I say sisters, right? Brothers and sisters, but particularly brothers, that, you do have support, right? So that's what I try to promote. I mean, like, again, the one or two women that do check my my show, my channel out, I appreciate you, and I humbly am grateful. But again, I want to show love to the men that usually come on my show. So that's where I go about.
XY is a communist, though.
A socialist, a
Socialist.
socialism.
Yeah,
We can always debate that. We can always debate that too.
she should read the Black Book of Communism.
All right, let's continue.
Not gonna be submissive today. No, I'm not gonna be submissive to you because you're not shit. Like,
Yeah, that's why you need a
it
conversation
depends on who it is.
person.
Right, you gotta pick the right. Everybody gotta pick the right partner for sure.
All right, I do have to move things on though a little bit here. We have another chat. We have a chat here from Lucas. You know what, Rebel? You get to read these.
Okay.
Lucas, thank you.
It says, "For the love of God, can we once for all expunge the womanese talking points of today's societal discourse? Stop imputing your emotional hardwiring. You're just saying stuff. Men are wired to be stoic.
There's another one coming in.
Okay. Men process and express emotions very differently. For this matter, in our societal duty to suppress emotions and stoic. All right, see, I need glasses.
You want a man
he's
who's
saying,
in touch with their
he's saying men are meant to be stoic and emotionally.
You want
That's
a man?
why you
Hold
want
on,
a man.
Let her read.
You want a man that's in touch with your emotions. He's in jail. That's what he said.
Guess
That
what?
was the
He's in
last
jail.
sentence.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
that was yeah.
That's a really good
crazy.
point. Really good point.
Yeah,
Because that's what men who are controlled by their emotions, they're generally going to be much more disposed to things like being in jail. Because if you're a guy who's controlled by emotions and you just react with anger or whatever else, you're going to be
That's
much more likely to
self-control.
be
That's self-control. That does not. You can be in touch with your emotions and have self-control at the same time.
Say that again?
You can be in touch with your emotions and have self-control at the same time.
Yeah, but we're saying somebody who has a lack of emotional control.
I thought it was saying I thought it was saying men who are more emotional are in jail. That's what I thought it was saying.
Yeah, exactly. Would you say that men who, like, for example, commit crimes are more or less likely to be able to control their emotions?
Less, but they might also
So that's the point
just
he's
be not smart. It depends. That's such a nuance.
All right, I have another one for you to read it.
Okay, behold the what word is that?
Amalgam
of woke and insane female. So
solipsism.
And we wonder why marriage/birth rates have collapsed. More red flags up in this piece than the CPP parade. By the way, father-in-law was drafted. Your father-in-law
Still
was
alive. Still alive.
Still alive.
Lucas.
Oh, okay.
Lucas's father-in-law was, I assume, drafted for Vietnam. He's still alive. Maybe could in Korea or. I think there's still a couple World War II vets, like a few, maybe.
In Israel, it's mandatory men and women to serve.
Yeah, but if you look at the death rate in Israel, it's much like it far outweighs in the men's side. So women generally tend to do like support roles.
Actually, women in Israel Air Force, they fly airplanes.
Look at the death rate.
All right, I want to show a different video. I want to show a different video. Let's check out a different video because I didn't see this video yet, so I want to see if it's a good one. Right, it's an interesting take.
I just want to say something real quick. I think
Go ahead.
that it's okay for men to talk about men's issues. Red Door doesn't have no problem with us talking the way we talk generally, week to week. You know what I'm saying? And if she did, I'm quite sure she would say something. You know, and I think that always trying to make it equal per se is like the problem. I think men supposed to handle men and women need to handle women, and that's what's not happening. And that's kind of like the problem, in my opinion. What's not happening. You know, women are jumping in men's issues per se, and not dealing and totally ignoring the woman's issues. A woman should not manipulate and a woman shouldn't manipulate somebody. You know, a woman should not talk to somebody who she doesn't really care about. A woman shouldn't use somebody for their money. A lot of things should not happen. And sadly, it's like men will hear a man or a woman, but it seems like women don't hear men. They only hear like women. And a certain amount of women need to kind of say something, in my opinion.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I mean, again, you know what? We should always be down to just hear each other talk. So, but that's good. All right, let's check out this video. I want to check out this video.
What happened to masculinity? What happened to chivalry? What happened to men courting women?
Vogue magazine posted an article, and the article says, "Is having a boyfriend embarrassing now?"
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Once I saw pornography, I was like, okay, well, here's a way that I can be near a woman where I can have some form of intimacy without having to have a real person there.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort? And I just wonder when it shifted, because I feel like that is the whole downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone now. Because men just don't care anymore.
Dating one girl at a time, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. You date more women at once, then that's going to make it faster to find the right woman.
Actually, this is good advice if you want to stay single forever.
Want me working my ass off so I can give myself the life that I fucking want, which is my right as a human being to want whatever life that I want. I'm not gonna be feeling girly pop girl. I'm not gonna be feeling all feminine, like willing to drop whatever I'm doing to come see you or come go to dinner with you or whatever. Whatever you say doesn't go, bitch. All right, I'll be there when I get there. I'm not gonna be present when I'm with you. I'm gonna be thinking about work.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And honestly, the more that I work and the more that I focus on working, I'm just not interested in dating.
I'm here to tell you right now. We don't care. We don't care. What kind of a wuss beta male is splitting the check? Like, who are you? I split the check quite a lot.
Why are you gay? You are gay. You are a transgender.
By the way, that money you saved is not worth the honor that you compromised.
We did this. We created this freaking problem. I hate it. Okay? I hate the system we've set up. We villainize masculinity and somehow still expect it or demand it to pursue us. You can feel it, can't you? I know I can. This tension between men and women right now is on another level, okay? Every tweet, every podcast, every rant, every comment section, oh my God, it's just another shot fired in this never-ending gender war. And you know, it's not playful anymore. It's gotten pretty ugly. And where's it gotten us? Honestly, poisoned us. So much that we've actually normalized this as modern dating culture. But if we're honest, this is not culture. This is decay. This is the entire decay of culture and of a generation. This didn't just appear out of nowhere. Hollywood has obviously been planting these seeds for decades, telling men that they're dangerous, that masculinity is toxic, that authority is oppressive, that being a hero is outdated, and vice versa, telling women that softness is weakness, that beauty is oppression, that motherhood is embarrassing, or a lesser way to live your life, that femininity is foolish. Like, y'all remember whenever they try to cancel being sexy, like self-oppression or something? Like, they actually canceled the Victoria's Secret fashion show for the sake of inclusivity, and every other body type was welcome except for the hot ones. Ultimately, they really took what made both men and women beautiful and they taught us to despise it. Like, do y'all see that? Now we look around and we wonder why everything is so freaking broken and why everyone's so angry. We've never had more technology, more convenience, more medicine, and yet we've never been more miserable, more disconnected, more ignorant, or more mentally ill, quite frankly. We can connect with anyone in seconds because of social media, but instead it actually just turned into an echo chamber to bitch about the opposite sex. Women saying that all men are worthless cheaters, men saying that women are overly demanding. But the truth, when we get past all the name calling, finger pointing, is that as a humanity, we are horribly fractured. I'm not gonna say we're doomed, probably close. But the truth is that we have replaced reflection with rage bait. We've replaced comfort with consumption and emotions with medication/addiction to just numb it all. We numb the very feelings meant to push us toward healing, so no one's actually healing. And because this generation grew up online, we're seeing the consequences of an entire world emotionally raised by the algorithm. So I have to ask, is this working? Genuinely, this gender war, is it working? Ladies, my girls, does complaining about men online, has that led to a husband? On the other side, men, does tearing women apart online, does that actually make modern women listen and understand your perspective? Of course not, because no one wins this war. Bitterness and despair, and miserable people who want you to all.
You know, this is a thing where I do agree that no one will win this this gender war thing. This is why I've said this before. And the only very few prescriptions I always give on this channel is that let women do the thing they're doing, right? Let women, suffer the consequences or go about their life that they think they should go about. I've said this. I promote men to focus on themselves, right? You either go MGTOW, you focus on yourself, you focus on your own happiness, or get a passport. Get a passport, right? Travel the world. That's what I promote a lot, most of the time with the men I talk to. Travel the world, right? Travel. I think that's very important. So,
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think nobody wins, but I think it gets to a point where it's like, how they say, when you're on the airplane and those masks fall down, put your own mask on first. You gotta save yourself. I think
yeah.
that's where we're at. I think we're to the point where it's like, we need to save ourselves because when women do finally get it, we have to be here to help to rebuild shit. You know what I'm saying? We gotta save ourselves at a point, And I think that's just what it is because things are so mess. It's that woman spoke so many facts. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She spoke so many facts, and I get what she's saying that women bashing men and men bashing women is not going to get it, but at a certain point, you have to get the men on the men's side. I because I'm not a woman, I'm a man, and so it's like that's what I speak to. On the man's side, we understand. That's what we understand. You know what I'm saying? We understand harsh realities. That's how you get through to men. So if
Mm-hmm.
women see that, that's why men and women are different. You know what I'm saying? How you can reach a man is different than how you can reach a woman. So really, a woman saying that, "Oh, you're bashing me," is like it's kind of crazy because that's not how men. I'm not even bashing you. I'm just saying the truth. But some women will say it's abusive to tell them no. You can't get that bag. I'm not going to give you this $1,000. Oh, he's financially abusing me. No, how about you go out and you make this $1,000 that you want me to give you? Then we'll be equal, in my opinion.
No, and that's the thing where I was whiskey. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. I always believe that this is a thing where I don't. I think we're at the point where we are at each other's throat, and no, again, I think women did start the bashing war, right? But I think men should be better, right? I mean, again, we talk about on these shows. It's more about helping other men, learn about women, learn about not be naive. Because, like I said this before, that I've been foolish, right? I've been naive to how women are. So my point of this channel is not to bash women; it's to break men of that that glamour, right? Break men of the hypnosis that a lot of men think that women are angels or they are what is it they're
Sugar and spice.
yes exactly love that, yes, sugar and spice and everything nice. It's a lie, right? And I believe that when I was Alan's age, right, 21, I believed that, right? Women were sugar and spice and everything nice. They were angels. They were so amazing. They could never do no wrong. Well, I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn the hard way. So I think that's the point of my channel, to learn the hard way, or to help men not have to learn the hard way, or to help men, learn it quicker. And honestly, like I said, the few prescriptions I ever said is, men, focus on yourself, better yourself, be the best version of yourself, and get a passport, travel the world. That's my thing.
Yeah, I agree. Don't take. I think don't take it. And one thing, it's this saying that a smart person learns from their mistakes, and a wise person learns from other people's
Yeah,
mistakes. And I think that is very
I
key.
love that.
And I think
I
that
love that.
you know the difference between like me and you, DA, and Alan is that the arrogance,
Mm.
the combativeness, the I know what I'm talking about and I'm not going to be movedness.
Well,
see, back when we were young, number one, we didn't even speak
well,
unless spoken to when it came to these. We respected our elders.
no, that's true. But
We didn't
the big bars, you
unless
gotta,
it was
you gotta also understand. He's 21 and 21 during this, this day and time. It's definitely, the kids are not these kids, these young adults are not like back in the day. So it is what it is.
Yeah, yes, I agree 100% with you, but I think that's from a lack of leadership.
No,
You know what I'm saying? Which we need to change. You know what I'm saying? I kind of don't agree with the "it's this way, so we just let it be this
no,
way" thing. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I get it. I get it. I mean, but this is why. I mean, when I said this before, where I don't mind Alan being on, is that, you know what, I want to have a chance to talk to people, right? And let the audience, right? Because again, I never think that, I'm going to change someone like Alan's mind, but maybe, right? If you talk to the audience, maybe you will change one person's mind in the audience, right? That's my thing. So
Yeah, and I agree.
yeah.
I agree. I think you just need to stop talking over people. Let people, have some conduct about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't over talk, especially the
No,
host.
I agree.
I
That's
think
why
that's truly
no. That's why I will definitely I would check the man. I will check the kid more often. But nah.
Only victors here. We live in a very blame addicted world. It's our favorite drug. Every side has a villain, every group has an enemy, and we build.
See, XY, I'm not okay. Here's my thing where I don't mind women holding men accountable, right? I don't mind women holding men accountable for their bad actions, right? For their, for their, I don't mind women holding men accountable for their words and actions. What I have a problem with a lot of women, right? Where it leans more to bashing than actually holding accountable. Because here's the thing with a lot of women, okay? In my opinion, right? A lot of women, they're actually talking about the men they are attracted to or they date. Women aren't necessarily talking about men in general, but they use the men that they are attracted to or the men they date to represent men in general, right? That's what a lot of women do. Not saying all women, but I say that's a lot of women. What they do is they use the men they are attracted to or the men they they have dated and use those men to, let's say, if those men cheated on them, they will say men are cheaters, men are liars, men are abusers. When in reality, no, men, right? Men in general are not. And that's why it's more bashing, right? That's why I say it's more bashing when it comes to a lot of women, right?
yes, I agree. And I think the key point that is being overlooked is I'm choosing I'm choosing these people. Maybe what I think is, it should be held up. Maybe I should not hold it up. And I think that's the difference between men and women. Men will be, kind of women, like in my case, mess with the same kind of woman. Then you get to a point where it's like, hold up, what I thought was cool is not really cool. It's not going to yield me the results that I want. And that's what I think it's all about, getting the results that you want. If you keep going to get cheated on, maybe it's something that you need to change. You know what I'm saying? It's not really victim bashing, it's self accountability. It's the difference between victim bashing and self accountability. If you're
Mm-hmm.
dating, if you dated 3, 4, 5 people, and all those 3, 4, 5 people cheated on you, you might want to figure out what's going on. Are you picking the wrong people, or are these everybody? Number one, it's mathematically impossible for it always to be somebody else. I think people need to think that way. It is impossible, mathematically impossible, for it always to be A and never B. And that's what we're dealing with. And they just want to, instead of hearing what we're saying, they're just throwing out, well, men do it too. Well, that's not what I was saying. You know.
Mm.
Built an entire economy on victimhood, where attention is the prize, not healing. The left blames the right blames left, Protestants blame Catholics, Gen Z blames millennials blame the freaking boomers, men blame women blame men. It's just never ending. Everyone is stuck in eternal victim mode, pointing fingers instead of looking inward because we think that the world should revolve around our wounds. And that's just not reality. Okay, so before we talk solutions, we really need to understand the wounds, because this
and see, that's the thing where this woman, what I said, I like what she said, right? That's the thing where this is why I said it's not. I believe, at least what I promote, right, on this channel, I don't promote bashing women. I promote, like, stop being a victim, right? It's about accountability. I've said this before, 100%. It's about accountability. I'm not bashing women because I hate women. No, I'm holding people accountable for their actions and words. period. So that's how I go about it, right? Because so many times we think, in particular, women think that they're victims, and they're victims, and men are the abusers, men are terrible, men are this. Well, that's not really the reality, in my opinion.
GA, do you think most men want to control women? 'Cause
No.
I
Okay.
sure
Yeah.
don't.
Okay. I wanted to talk about that too.
So
So
men want women to make if a woman wants to buy go out and buy 6 pairs of shoes, the man can say, well, that's not, we can't afford that right now. And if a woman says, well, I'm going to do it anyway, well, that's going to be a problem.
No, see, this is the thing where men don't want control, men want respect.
Correct.
Right. So it's not that men it's like what you want is control. You want women to shut up and do whatever you want. No. What men want in general, I'm not saying all men, of course, but in general, men want respect. Men want a woman that, you know what? Just like what Whiskey said, an example, buy 100 shoes. No, I respect my husband. I don't want to drain his bank account. I don't want to, abuse, his bank account, financially abuse him. So I respect him. So I'm not going to, just go overboard with spending. I respect him. Right? It's not that, a man coming up to you is like, no, you cannot do this. No, right? It's like, because you respect your man, you yourself are choosing not to do certain things because it can harm your man or whatever. And that's respect, not control.
Right. It's kind of a partnership, especially if you're married.
Yeah, exactly.
Your accounts are tied together. Another thing that women find hard to do is let's say a man married. Let's say they're married and a man builds a deck. I mean, the woman could just say that's a really just wants some acknowledgement that he built the deck, and it turned out great. Most women,
Yes.
I don't think they realize that just that looks really nice is would go very far for a man instead of criticizing everything.
No,
this I didn't want this or this or this,
And again, it's just an example, right? It's just an example. It's like something you do out of respect for the man you love, right? It's not like you do something because he's controlling you. That's the premise, right? Men are not, at least men today, right? I'm maybe controversially, I believe men in the past as well are not necessarily doing things out of control. They want respect, and respect is through actions, right? They want love and they want respect, and it's usually through action. Men don't desire necessarily to control women, right? Because honestly, it's more of a headache to try to control another person. But it's easier if they respect you and they don't do certain things, right? So let's say even not a shoe, but hypothetically, she respects you enough so she's not going out to the club every single fucking night, right? That's more because she respects you, not because you're trying to control her, not to her to go out. That's more the thing.
Or not to go out at all. Just stay with her husband or her boyfriend or
yeah. I mean, again, it's to each their own, but it's at least it's relationship dependent on what she do to show her respect towards you. So
right. So a woman that goes out and like girls' nights and things like that puts herself into situations where she's gonna have temptation.
Yeah.
So a good woman is not going to do that. She'll say, "Yeah, I'll go out with you, but I'm not going to go out with my girlfriends to a rowdy bar where I'm going to dance and get felt up by other men."
It's just a symptom. And to do that, I actually want to pull from one of my all-time favorite shows of all time, and that's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because anyone who has seen this show in its entirety knows that this is no typical kids cartoon. Avatar really shows the tension between the masculine and the feminine, the wounds that we inherit, and the long road from brokenness to redemption. It shows how we lose ourselves and ultimately how we can find our way back home. And I just love to look at stories and how they mirror humanity and see how we can learn lessons from them. So let's start with women, because, as always, ladies first. Women are hurting, carrying emotional and physical labor that no one sees. We crave depth, commitment, devotion. We're dating in a generation where men detach faster than they can really connect. They disappear very easily, discarding women left and right, depending on whether they fulfill their needs or not. And men want to be chased. So we adapted, we hardened, and the girl boss era was born. We started performing instead of connecting. And when we look at the show Avatar, I really realized that Katara is that wound. So not the sweet waterbender that we romanticize.
We'll be there in a few hours. You'll need all your strength.
No, don't you worry about my strength. I have plenty. I'm not the helpless little girl I was when they came.
Her mother's gone, her father's gone, her tribe is dwindling very rapidly. She's the very last waterbender. And she becomes the mother, the sister, the healer, the freaking maid doing her brother's laundry while he constantly dismisses and minimizes her voice and her talent.
They even wash all the clothes! Have you ever smelled your dirty socks? Let me tell you, not pleasant! Settle down! No, that's it. I'm done helping you. From now on, you're on your own!
Not because she wants to, but because she feels like she just has to. Katara represents every single woman who grew up way too fast. Every woman who became a caretaker as a child. Every woman who held the family together while breaking quietly inside. Strength became Katara's identity, but it also became her burden. A burden that no one really saw. And then there's Azula. And we all know her as brilliant, ruthless, the unstoppable, absolute badass that she is. But as much as she's a badass and a baddie.
You know, I'm showing this because I do love the Avatar, The Last Airbender, but I want to what she just talked about a little bit. I'm eventually right down the road. I want to do I'm going to do a video. Please, eventually I'm going to do it about women's emotional labor. Right. So I'm just going to glancery talk about it a little bit because she kind of talked about the emotional labor of women. Right. Essentially. Emotional labor that a lot of women love to talk about. And I think a lot of times women create said emotional labors. Women create said emotional burdens and loads. In my opinion, let a man suffer, right? If you need to take some emotional load, let a man suffer, because I believe, in my opinion, men need the trauma. Men need the struggle, right? I mean, in my opinion, to make the best men possible is men struggling and picking themselves back up.
I agree.
So, yeah, and that's why I don't discredit, right? Because I think women create said emotional labors because I guess that's something innate in a lot of women, but I don't think men desire it or men force it upon women. Women, in my opinion, force that responsibility onto themselves. I believe that let men go about life how men think. Because this is the thing, right? If a man is a bum, right? If he doesn't want to work, he doesn't want to whatever, well, let him fucking suffer. This is the thing. I hold both men and women accountable. So if a man wants to be a bum, wants to be a leech, wants to not work, wants to not produce, wants to not, strive for better, fine. We are all adults. Let him suffer. But a lot of women will say, oh, you know what? He doesn't want to work. I'm going to try to push him to work. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to, I don't know, nag him. So he has to go to work. Or if my husband doesn't want to go to work, I'm going to have to nag my husband. I'm going to push I'm going to schedule shit like that. So at the end of the day, you are creating those situations where then women complain, oh my God, my husband is terrible. He's inept. He's weaponized incompetence or whatever. No, just let him suffer. Right. I promote if you are unhappy, leave. Right. Just leave. Let him do, because I believe if men don't go through, hardships and come back up, then, he was never meant to. I'm a big believer in, the survival of the fittest. Right. If he couldn't survive it, well, honestly, He's not meant to continue. That's my opinion. But I will make a video more talking about emotional labors or emotional load because I want to focus on that, but not tonight.
I think the one thing that she said that kind of lost me. She
Mm-hmm.
said that this speaks to every woman that no, that's where she's lost me at. That character doesn't, and that's what I do. I look at cartoons especially and decode them and say what they're really trying to say. I do that a lot, and no, that is not what in the current day is that character is being spoken to. You know what I'm saying? All women are not. Every woman is not. You see, women think that all women are good women, and I think that is kind of the problem. All women are not good women. You have Lilith, and you have Eves, and you have something else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and going to your point where it's like men need to suffer. I kind of think, like you said, it's a survival of the fittest thing. And at the end of the day, what I think women need to really realize that if a man is that lazy, he doesn't need to reproduce. Also,
I mean, this is
we
the thing
gotta
where,
remember that.
yeah, I think this is the thing where a lot of us are pretty, much older men. And, just like Omni said, DA, right? You are being really zen, letting loved ones learn instead of solving it for them. A lot of them, we are older men and we've been there, right? I hate the participation award culture, right? We're giving everyone a participation award. I don't believe in that, right? I don't believe men need to. You have to be like big ass muscles. No, but I believe what a man is who he is inside, right? The strength inside, not the big ass muscles, right? I believe a strong man, what is a man, is who he is inside. Perseverance, the shit he goes through, and he still picks himself back up. Whiskey, like the shit you've told me in your past, I still equate you being an amazing man because you've been through so many shit, and that's why I hope that you continue because sometimes you talk about your dark days, but man, I love you, and I hope that you still continue because you've been through so much, and I respect you for every day continuing to move forward, and that I think that's a man, right? I think that's a true man where even if you go through shit in life, you pick yourself back up and keep moving forward, right? You're not letting life destroy you. You're not letting life, just ruin you.
Well, I actually have now because I drink quite a bit, so it's and I can afford to do that. So I've taken care of everything. But I wanted to talk about women. I don't think women gather up together to uplift women. I think women gather together to degrade them to degrade the women who have a good life. Because women they're very emotionally abusive to other women. Like men they'll fight in the schoolyard, but women will gossip and things like that behind their back.
They use the manipulation.
So women they don't want to upraise all women. They want to bring all women down. Like a really uh, uh, angry, bitter woman who is living in misery. She doesn't want to uplift a younger, so let's say she's 60. She doesn't want to uplift an 18-year-old woman who's just, coming into the world. She wants to downgrade that woman to her level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We
agree.
cannot deny how our story ended. And we look deeper and we look at the moment in the end when she finally snaps. When her hair is uneven and she tries to banish imaginary servants because she can't control the terror racing inside her. And Zuko's like, I can't tell, but she's slipping somehow. Yeah, no shit, Zuko. The chick's gone. But this scene was so heartbreaking for me because I just wanted to hug Azula because that scene is not villainy. It's the collapse of a girl who was never hugged, a child raised on fear, not on affection, a daughter praised for perfection, not loved for simply existing. Azula is the woman who never felt safe being soft, who learned very early that vulnerability equals danger. So she became sharp, calculating, dominant, intimidating, not out of power, but really just out of panic, out of survival. That power without love collapses the soul. I'm telling you this, ladies, trust me, no amount of power or attention will eliminate the human desire to be truly known and truly loved.
I know what you really.
But ladies, she's our warning. And yet today, women try to live like Azula and wonder why they have a ton of followers but no friends, why they have a ton of attention but no real intimacy. You see, we traded tenderness for dominance, grace for competition, femininity for performance. We cannot live our lives like Azula and expect Qatar results, where she ends up with community, love, purpose, and belonging. Originally, feminism was about only holding women's value and what she could do for men, and I agree with that. But then feminism drifted so drastically from equality into competition. Rather than challenging men and empowering them to actually step the freak up, we've ironically relieved men of any responsibility at all by saying that they're all useless, and we've left everything up to ourselves. Do you see that? We've essentially doubled the work for ourselves. It was amazing and great and healing for women to not live or get their validation or their worth for the male gaze. But let's be real, what actually happened is that we've replaced the male gaze for the algorithm's gaze, seeing life as content to capture, not moments to experience. Nothing is sacred anymore. Weddings, funerals, all used for content farming, addicted to the freaking attention and empty validation from strangers, while our true self and our soul corrodes, becoming a slave to whatever is trending and never actually living, but just living to be seen by people who don't care about you, know nothing about you, can't keep you warm at night, quite frankly. And you know, it's not just women escaping reality, men escape too, just very differently. Women seek validation on social media, whereas men seek validation with porn. Let's be real, okay? Same wound, different drug. And women won't like this part, but it's true. No one else is saying it, so I'm gonna say it. We've forgotten how to listen. We correct men's feelings, we police their tone and sanitize their humor, which I for one hate because I have an extremely freaky dark sense of humor. Don't let me like that, but it's very dark, okay? That only dudes on Instagram or brothers understand. Everyone else, I'd be canceled. I'm welcome with them, okay? Without dudes, I would have to be a sanitized version of myself. Like, no, we need men to balance us out. Okay, not everything can be freaking PC. We shame them for being silent, then shame them again when they open up in the wrong way. And that contradiction suffocates men, or it creates an entire generation of beta men. And me, frankly, I'm very attracted to the alpha male. But ladies, I'm so tired of seeing women complain on social media about how men do not pursue anymore. The entire freaking feminist movement made it inappropriate for a man to acknowledge your looks. I had a coworker at work the other day tell me, because I got my bangs, and he was like, "You look so beautiful with your bangs," and he immediately apologized to me for acknowledging how great I look. And I was like, why are you apologizing? But because immediately, as the compliment was coming out of his mouth, all he could see was a Me Too or a freaking sexual harassment claim being filed at HR, and then he could lose his job, especially in freaking New York City. He was so apologetic. I was like, never ever apologize to me for complimenting me. But that's what we've done, ladies. Chicks on TikTok, oh, why don't men pursue anymore? We did this. We created this freaking problem. I hate it, okay? I hate the system we've set up. We villainize masculinity and somehow still expect it or demand it to pursue us. I would never pretend to understand firsthand the plight of modern men, and I'm not very prone to it because I've had my own experiences with men who don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. But I did want to talk to two men who I trust, and this is my brother and my brother-in-law. They are both faith-filled, emotionally intelligent, grounded, loving, like genuinely loving men who love and cherish their wives, children. They love me truly, to where I can be my full, inappropriate, unhinged self around. I wanted to hear from them because I knew if they told me their perspective, it wouldn't be an excuse. It was just kind of like research and understanding for me. And what they told me really opened my perspective and actually gave me sympathy for men that I've honestly never had before. In sources quoting, I'm just going to read it verbatim. All right, so let me read this. Hold on, let me get past all of my inappropriate text messages. Okay. Telling y'all, you would not believe who I am. These text messages. You know, not that I'm disingenuous on camera, but my unhinged jokes, I don't know. I feel like God made me look like a woman, but he gave me the sense of humor of a straight dude. Locker room humor. My humor is just, I'm sorry, it's problematic. Okay, anyways, this is from my brother-in-law's dad. He says, full script. I know, of course. Anyways, he says, I think more than a want to be coddled or want to be mothered or have it easy is the erosion of example. I have a hard time imagining even a place a young man spends his time learning how to be a good man. Few are lucky to have it by personal example and a father. But where are the masculine places that young guys are with lots of other solid guys? Basically, all of our surroundings are feminized. School is crazy when you think about it. Church is feminized. You grow up constantly being told what to do by women. When it comes to home, it is crazy hard to lead. It's almost like having a kid, feeling like no one gave you a manual. It doesn't matter, though. A reality.
You know, and I think that's one of the important things where, I mean, you're hearing, right? Here's another man telling a woman that there's such an importance for men's spaces. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Right? I don't mind that women, you know, want to join the Red Door or XY or whatever. They like to join, they like to talk, they like to, you know, watch the videos or whatever, I support that. But I think the basis is that I want to create a space for men where you're not afraid to talk. You're not afraid to express your opinions, express your feelings, express your thoughts. This is why I said I love you guys, because I want to create a space where, we have whiskey, we have big bars, we have Omni, we have Steve, we have English, we have, Laughing Man sometimes, we have Evil Eddie sometimes, just expressing their opinions. I love it. And we don't have enough places in our life where we can express our opinions to others, right? We keep it in our brains because I live, right, like I said, before I started this channel, I'm usually talking to myself, right? I'm usually talking to myself. I come home, I'm talking to myself, and like, God damn, that's like depressing. So that's why I wanted to create a space where we as men can talk to each other, or we as men can listen to each other, or read the things we're writing, right? That's why I love to create that space for you guys. And, I'm humbly thankful that you guys joined.
Yeah, I agree with that. When I was in high school, I was kind of ostracized and a lone wolf. And I'm 62 years old, so I was playing D&D, and that was all male and collecting comic books. And then slowly women crept. There were no women in it because they found it they made fun of people who played Dungeons and Dragons and collected comic books, all popular good looking women. And then they crept in because there was money to be made. So now, and then what women do is they invade the space and they change it to what they want the space to be. And that's really horrible.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but I think the key point that we need to, like I said, I think this is about teaching, is about leadership, truly leadership, and I think it's something that we need to tell our children is that the fives of today, of high school days, are the baddies, are the nines and tens of tomorrow. So just take that into account, and I think that's something that has been lost across the board between men and women. That we're shooting for the stars. We rather ruin our life. We rather throw our lives down a well, than take what is honest and good for us right in front of our faces. And I think that's kind of sad, actually. Because I look back on my life and I'm like, all these, half of the women that used to throw themselves at me are, I look at them now on Facebook and I'm like, they are extremely attractive now. And it's like, if you got your head out your butt, you would have had one of those good women, and you would have had the life that you wanted. But you had to shoot for the stars, and now you're in the situation you're in.
I agree.
Or to the male side of things. So let's take a look at Zuko. Not as the scarred prince, but as the boy on that ship. Standing at the front, restless, obsessed with regaining his father's love. Every breath he takes is performance. Every fight is a plea. He's not angry. It's clear that he's just abandoned. He's not cruel, he's desperate. And as the old adage says, hurt people hurt people. Zuko is the modern man raised in conditional worth, performative worth. The man who thinks that achievement earns love. The man who believes that he has to earn the right to be chosen. And then there's Sokka.
Sitting around the house has made us pretty lazy. But I know just the thing to change that. Beach party!
Blubbering blob monster?
No, it's Suki. Suki, we'll all understand if you break up with him over this. I think it's sweet.
He's funny, sarcastic, quick-witted, great with the ladies. But remember his face when he admits that he feels useless because he cannot bend? That insecurity all beneath his jokes. That is every man who hides inadequacy behind humor, behind detachment, behind bravado, pretending that they don't care. And then we have Aang.
You're playing games with him? The Avatar should be training.
The Avatar will be sent away to the Eastern Air Temple to complete his training.
I was afraid and confused. I didn't know what to do. never saw Diato again.
A boy who, I think he's actually every man who avoids responsibility because he feels the weight of expectation so heavily that running seems so much safer than failing. I feel like Aang was someone who was just so afraid to lose himself that he would let the world burn to avoid responsibility, only realizing the consequences too little too late. But just like women need to take accountability, men do too. You can't control what was done to you. You can't control whether your father stood up for you or whether your mother enmeshed you or the lack of a role model that you had. You can't control that. But who you become now, that's your decision. And the sad reality is that many men choose escape with porn, validation from fake women online just becomes a drug, and ego replaces your own integrity. Avoidance replaces accountability. You think that avoiding a commitment makes you the prize somehow, leaning into your feminine energy. But actually, the real prize is who you become when you lead with purpose. And without accountability, you burn your life down to avoid facing yourself. So here we are, two genders.
That's the thing where I agree. I think a lot of young men have no purpose right now. Right? I think a lot of young men have no purpose in life right now. So that's why I've always
I agree.
promoted.
Yep.
Then that's the thing where I always promote that. I think a lot of young men don't understand, your purpose could be, like things have changed, right? Your purpose, used to be a woman, a family, but now things have changed because, women don't deem men all that great anymore. But here's the thing where I think a lot of men should change their purpose in that make your purpose yourself, focus on your happiness, focus on bettering yourself. And like I said, these are the few prescription I do is get that passport because you can find a woman out in the world, right? Because the world should be your dating market where you can find a woman that would treasure, a family, a husband, a father, right? And that I think that's a purpose that we need to understand that you can find those kind of old school viewpoints out in the world. So I think that's what a lot of young men should focus on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Things change, but they kind of remain the same. And I think sadly, men have lost. You don't end up nobody's torpedo. You don't sacrifice yourself for somebody else, really. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between, being the head of a household and being used. It's the difference between those two things. You don't be used. And I think that's something that a lot of men have forgotten or don't know, have never been taught that you don't let nobody use you. You don't let nobody use you. Don't be no fool, yo. Like,
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree. Don't let anyone use you. Yep.
And that's the thing where I love that, right? And I 100%. This is why I think one of the purpose of the channel is to help young men or help men teach. You gotta know the signs, and I promote it, right? If you become the best version of yourself, you gain the skills, the mindset, the personality where you do not allow yourself to be used. You have boundaries, you have principles, you have values, you have morality. You're the best version of yourself. And then you go out into the real world and you navigate it and you find what you want. If you want a family, you want a wife, you want to go MGTOW, you want to focus completely on yourself, that's cool too. So
The odd thing for me is how I ended up in joining the army is kind of odd, and being in Iraq and in combat is even odder. It's just this odd confluence of events. Like I was destined to be there, but I know this is going to be an odd take, but I think all men should be in combat as it's a rite of passage. Even though it's horrible and terrible, I kind of feel like I'm kind of grateful that I had the opportunity to be in combat. I know that's an odd take, isn't it?
it's a little bit. I mean, like again, I think that's. I believe that there's many ways for rite of passages, but I guess I don't disagree that combat or the military is one way to for a rite of passage. Oh, you know what I did, right? When I was kind of weird. I got another weird take as well. When I was young, me and a bunch of friends, we had like our own little fight club. So we wrestled, we boxed each other. I think a good rite of passage is men getting those testosterone out. Right. I think
Yep.
that's a great way of passage.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. I think testosterone is like a use it or lose it type of thing. If you're not using it, you don't build it back up type of thing. If you're not, rambunctious running around, you're not going to have it in high levels. And I just think that.
Yeah.
Both clearly very angry, both blaming, but both secretly wanting love. Blame doesn't change us, so perhaps accountability will. For women, accountability is putting the armor down, choosing peace over pride, softness over resentment, self-awareness over aesthetics. If every man that you meet is a cheater, maybe it's time to do some self-reflection of why do you keep attracting cheaters, or why, maybe you have anxious attachment style, so maybe becoming more securely attached so that you can see red flags earlier on. There are things that you can do. I'm not victim blaming by any sense. It's unfair and it's cruel and it's horrible that men would knowingly ask a woman out when they have a whole girlfriend or a wife, but nonetheless, there are always red flags. Do you completely ignore those because you want to be chosen so bad? That's something that you can work on. So self-awareness, ladies, it's listening more than you speak. In New York City, I'm in corporate America, and I will tell you the smartest person in the room is never the loudest. Never. The person who's yelling on social media is almost always the most insecure one. Remembering that insecurity is loud, but confidence is quiet. It's not silencing. It's not the patriarch silencing you. No, it's just having humility and recognizing that whenever you speak, make sure that you're adding value to the conversation. If not, then shut up. Okay, and then for men, accountability is facing yourself, healing in private so you can show a hole in public, respecting yourself when no one else is watching. Because the man that you are when you are alone at home, guess what? No matter how much you try to hide it, women will eventually, they will meet that man. You cannot hide him. So healing that part of you and becoming whole and actually open to real intimacy that isn't fake. But accountability, it can totally change habits. It's the first step, but it can't heal the soul. Behavior change without heart change is just performance. All that to say, and what is abundantly evident, whether you like it or not, is that our wounds, men and women, human beings, are spiritual. We don't need another argument. We don't need another debate. We don't need another podcast. We need a savior, okay? I don't care if we need a savior. Someone needs to freaking save us. And what does that look like? Like actually in practical sense, what does a savior look like? And this show gives us Uncle Iroh. Beloved Uncle Iroh is what every man and every woman needs. A mentor who doesn't shame, a presence who doesn't abandon, a love that doesn't condition. Watch the scene where Zuko finally collapses into Iroh's arms after betraying his own uncle who had done nothing but love him and stood by his side when the world cast him out. Zuko expects rage, punishment, rejection, and instead, he gets an embrace so full that it just completely breaks him open. That moment is a revelation for us. Healing numb, he watches you escape.
This is a thing where I wanted to create an environment, right? Like I said, for us men to, I believe this community that I'm trying to create is a way for us men to, heal, get better, get stronger, show love to each other and show support to each other, and know that you're not alone, right? Because whiskey, you gotta know, right? You gotta know that your brothers love you. Right? A lot of people always say that we hope you're doing well because we know you've been through some dark times. So, and again, I want everyone to know that because I've said this before, right? Us as men, no one cares about us. Men don't care about us. Women definitely don't care about us. So I wanted to create an environment where there are people that care, right? So this is why I've always said that I love you guys because I think it is not unmanly to express emotions. It's just how we express it, right? Because as a man, we need to be in control of it, and I'm controlling it where I believe more men need support. More men need a brotherhood, right? And that's what I wanted to create. I want to create and show you guys that I love you guys. You guys are amazing people, right? So,
yeah, right. And don't all young men out there, don't fall into nihilism. The worst thing, because there's always, there's always something to believe in. There truly is always something to believe in. And I've as I aged, as I go through my life, I've always kind of fallen into the trap of nihilism, and don't do that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
nihilism it's not a good thing.
no.
No,
Because I support it, right? We gotta live. We gotta support each other. We gotta don't again, my brothers. Let's create, the best life we can create. Right? That's what I want. And you guys are amazing, right? I love you guys. Let's have some last words, right? Let's have some last words, and we'll end it out on this, right? So, uh, yeah, yeah. All right. Big bars. Any last word for tonight?
yeah, my last words is the only pushback I would give back on her last point is
Mhm.
that she said we need a savior, and I think that's something that we have been fed and it's
Mm.
not served us well. We are the saviors. We need to make change within ourselves, and instead of waiting for somebody else to teach us how to, we need to teach ourselves how to go to the next level.
Oh,
Honestly, I do. And
ah, I
and
love it.
what Ricky said, nihilism is not a good thing. Never, never. It's never good to be nihilistic thinking or whatever. Is always something that you should. And see, that just goes back to my first point where you never, if you're looking for a savior, you can fall into nihilism. Not to say that's what you did, but I'm just saying that's you a way you can't fall into it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you wait for somebody to teach you something that you have in front of you the whole time. Bruce Leroy, that's what Bruce Leroy, he was the master, and his master told him that. He said, you got everything you need right in front of you. But if you don't want to believe that, you can continue to look outside. You know, I think that it's never a good thing to fall into a nihilistic way of thinking because it doesn't benefit nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's almost akin to like self deletion to me. You know what I'm saying? You just giving up, and you can't give up. The cream rises to the top. You can't give up. That's what I would say.
Oh, I love it. Those were bars right there, and that's what exactly right. I don't think we need a savior or a leader. We need a brotherhood. I believe that within each of us, right? Within each of us as men, we are our saviors of our own lives. We are the leaders of our own lives, right? This is not like we're not trying to create a government or create a kingdom or anything. No, we're trying to create a brotherhood. So yes, I love that.
His big bars. I know who big Bruce Leroy is.
That's the Last Dragon. The Last Dragon,
Yes,
Bruce Leroy.
that's a great movie.
It is a good movie.
It is, and that's what they were telling him. They were at the beginning. His master told him, "You are the master now. You know what I'm saying? You can be a master now." And Bruce Lee was like, "Oh, he was kind of nihilistic and thinking. He's like, oh no, I need a savior. I need a master. I need a master." And his master was like, "Well, since you don't want to believe that you are the master, you can seek out this fake master." And that's what he did. That's what the whole movie was about. Him realizing at the end that he is the one. He is the last dragon. You know what I'm saying? He is the master. And the whole time he was the master. And throughout the movie it shows you that he sure enough trying to fight him and everything. It's like shows him that he is all the people who look to him for leadership. It was showing that he was the master the whole time. He just didn't see it. And I think that's a key point. We have to see that we are the masters of our own destiny, and we are the masters of the universe, and move forward. Instead of looking for outside, look inward. That's just
Mhm.
how I feel about it.
No, 100%.
And there was that really good looking woman in that movie. The She was a member of Prince's.
Vanity.
Right, and she became a Christian. She gave up Hollywood and became a Christian. Man, she was so pretty. Gosh, that woman
You
was so pretty.
and talented. They had a nice voice and talented, you know.
Yeah.
And a point that is not pointed out that she was like extremely high level. The guy Eddie Arcania was trying to get his girl's music played on her channel, which was like at the top of the food chain, you know. And she was like enamored with Bruce Leroy. She was like throwing herself at him, and that's another little nod that he was the master the whole time. You know what I'm saying? You have this woman who's at the top echelon throwing herself at you,
Right.
and you
Right.
still don't
Yeah.
see it.
No.
All right, guys. I don't want to keep you guys up all night. I love you guys, right? Thank
night,
you guys for being
everyone.
here. All right. Thank you, Whiskey, for being here. Thank you, Big Bars, my brother.
Good stream, good stream. Peace.
I love you. I love you. All right. Everyone else, thank you. Thank you, Ingris. Thank you, Steve. I love you, my brother. XY too. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Omni Man or Omni. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. You're amazing. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Red Door was here. All right. I love you, my sister. I love you. Alan, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by, adding a bit of flavor to the channel. Thank you. Anyone else? I think that's it for tonight. I think that's Artie was here, right? He stopped by. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Real Rain was here. Jeremiah stopped by a little bit. Johnny Girl, interesting. Corey was watching, so awesome, right? But thank you, Steve. I love you. You guys are amazing. All right. I think that's it. I think that is it. Steve, I'm existing, not living, but don't become complacent. You gotta live, Steve. You gotta live, right? The years go fast. I agree. They definitely do, right? They definitely do. Ingrish, thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. I love you. I love you. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. All right. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. All right. That is it for tonight. Later, guys. All right. I probably will. You know what? I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I'm not 100% concrete about it. I may do a Thanksgiving stream. All right. Because I always love spending the holidays with you guys. So no guarantee, but I'll probably do it. Right. So tell me if you guys would love a Thanksgiving holiday stream. All right, guys. Later.